We have breaking news. The Iranian president has said his country is in a full-scale war with the U.S., Israel, and Europe. Is that true? Well, Iranian leadership is known to hyperbolize claims, and he was talking in an interview on Saturday about the all-out sanctions and currency pressure and limits on trade the West has been putting on his country, and he seemed to be describing that pressure as war. He was talking in present tense, and obviously we're not currently in a military war with them. Did he suggest this might rise to a military war? He phrased it more as if we are attacked again by the West, we will respond more forcefully. He also mentioned how he views this war as worse than the war they fought against Iraq in the 80s, as that one was straight up military, while this one, according to him, they're being surrounded by every angle. Is Iran struggling right now? Economically, yes. Their inflation rate just reached 42.2% for the year as their currency is collapsing, and Iranians are feeling the pain as they are protesting across Iran. Has Trump responded to this claim by the Iranian president? He just said in a meeting with Netanyahu moments ago he will support an Israeli attack on Iran if they continue with either their nuclear program or ballistic missile program. Where's their ballistic missile program at? That is the main piece of conversation today between Trump and Netanyahu. Israel certainly believes Iran's ballistic missile program remains, while Iran has sent out mixed messaging. One of their state-sponsored media channels showed a video of missiles being tested last Monday, only for that to be swiftly dismissed as not real by another Iranian-sponsored media channel. So will Israel attack Iran again? George, I am know-it-all Nelly, but that doesn't mean I know it all. What?
So while we were all distracted with the Epstein files, the entire financial system just flipped. Like now. That's because the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, just made the biggest move of the 21st century.
At a pace to tokenize real-world assets. And if you think about assets as software, it's natural for the industry to begin to look at blockchain as the next generation of software to carry assets. And they could.
The president and CEO of the DTCC, Frank LaSala, has just announced the green light from the SEC to tokenize everything. And if you guys have no idea who the DTCC is, let me walk this down. So they are the back office for the stock exchange, and let me give you an idea of how major this is. So their settlement and transaction volumes is $3.7 quadrillion per year. And yes, that's 15 zeros. Now, what does this all mean for the future of finance? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? This means real-world assets like gold, silver, real estate, cars will all be represented on blockchain through tokenization. Now, what tokenization is fractionalized ownership and investments. So for example, say you wanted to sell 20% of your house instead of 100% of your house, you can do so through blockchain, purchasing it with crypto. Now here's another telltale sign that things are changing rapidly, because silver has just become the third largest asset on earth, coming in at over $4.4 trillion evaluation. Now silver has hit an all-time high over 5 times just this month alone, but that's not all. Gold, oil, copper, platinum, and palladium have all surged as well. Now, what was that little thing that where assets are represented on blockchain? Oh yeah, tokenization. And let's not forget, the US has just launched an airstrike on Nigeria and all these other countries, bringing us on the brink of war. And what's that little asset that they actually use during war? Silver. Silver is what they use for satellites and tanks, submarines, fighter jets, Tomahawk cruiser missiles, AI data centers, and wiring, you name it. Make sure you guys get into my Telegram where I have more information on tokenization. Also, hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Yeah, check out that guy at The Maverick Approach. He's pretty cool. And all right, guys, let's go ahead and get right into it because we are live. Yo, this is S.E.T Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we got a lot to get into. Of course, we're going to get into Trump and Netanyahu's meeting. Then, of course, we're going to get into the Iranian situation. And then we're going to get into updates on the Ukrainian war. So it's going to be a fun one tonight. So let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video. And let's go ahead and get right into it.
People could come in. Come on over, fellas. We had a big meeting with a lot of people, a lot of talent from Israel and from the U.S. And I think we came to a lot of conclusion and conclusions. And there's very little difference in what we're looking at and where we want to be, where we want to go. And so I just want to thank you for spending time. I know you're going to be over here for a couple of days, and maybe we'll be surprising us on New Year's Eve. That'll be fine.
Oh, thank you.
And it's wonderful seeing you and Sarah and your whole group. Very talented group. We've done very good work together, and it'll continue. So thank you very much, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I have to say that in addition to what I said, that we've never had a friend, even close, a friend, as President Trump in the White House. I think he's been extraordinary in his friendship and his support for Israel, his principled positions, his willingness to just cut through and get to the essence of things. And I don't say that as a compliment. I just mean it. People have heard me say that behind your back, Mr. President, many times. But I want to say something else. I think we have a partnership, if I can quote you, second to none. I think it's allowed us to do enormous things. You know, people said there was a different conception at one time, which means that America can advance its interest in the Middle East if it opens a lot of daylight between it and Israel. And President Trump has done the exact opposite. He's achieved remarkable things in the Middle East because we work together. We talk about our ideas. Sometimes we have different ideas, but we work it out. And most of the time we see eye to eye. But it's been a remarkable experience, and this was a very, very productive meeting. And may I say, a very good lunch. Thank you. Thank you for your friendship.
Thank you very much, baby.
And thank you for your support. It's meant from the heart.
Thank you. You know, as I said outside, he's been a wartime prime minister, and we were, well, I guess I could say I was a wartime president in more places than just Israel, if you think about it. But Israel was a big factor, and we're with you, and we'll continue to be with you. And a lot of good things are happening in the Middle East. We have peace in the Middle East, and we're going to try and keep it that way. I think we will be very successful in keeping it that way. And you've been a great friend, and I've been a great friend to you and to Israel. And it's been my honor. And the award that I was given was really surprising and very much appreciated.
Well, President Trump has broken so many conventions to the surprise of people, and then they figure out, oh, well, maybe, he was right after all. So we decided to break a convention too, or create a new one, and that is to award the Israel Prize, which in almost our 80 years, we've never awarded it to a non-Israeli, and we're going to award it this year to President Trump. This was announced formally over lunch by our Minister of Education, who's responsible for the Israel Prize. It's going to be awarded to President Donald J. Trump for his tremendous contributions to Israel and the Jewish people. I think it's such a fitting thing. And
all right, I'm gonna be real. It looks like BB is gonna get exactly what he wants, war with Iran, and we might be backing him up on it. Now, this is just my wild speculation, so you can take this with a grain of salt if you want to. But the way the facts are lining up is that Israel's been trying to warn us about Iran and their missiles program, and that they're going to try to start enriching uranium again. They have no proof of this. Actually, they have no proof of the enriching of uranium. What they do have proof of is the advancement of Iranian's missile system. I mean, actually, they kind of let the whole world know that they've advanced their missile system. And this is one of the main reasons why Israel wants to start it back up with Iran. The problem is Israel was a little afraid to start it back up because they weren't sure if America was going to back them up. And it looks like, well, the conclusion of their little private meeting is that we may be backing them up when it comes to strikes on Iran. Now, we'll see where this goes because Iran is facing a bit of a struggle right now, of course, with currency problems, water shortages, and then, of course, Israel on its heel.
It would honor us, obviously, Mr. President, if you could visit Israel in that occasion on our Independence Day. But I have to say that this reflects the overwhelming sentiment of Israelis across the spectrum. They appreciate what you've done to help Israel and to help our common battle against the terrorists and those who would destroy our civilization. So, again, that's an expression of thanks and appreciation.
Thank you, baby, very much. That really is a great honor. Any questions, please? We'll go pretty quickly because pretty much we agree on most of the things, and you would know what most of those things are. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to know if you and the Prime Minister talked about having Israel pull back its troops before Hamas fully disarms. I know that's been an issue. Did you push for that today?
Well, we talked about Hamas and we talked about disarmament, and they're going to be given a very short period of time to disarm, and we'll see how that works out. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in charge of that from our side. But
now, here's a problem about the whole disarming part. Since the ceasefire, Israel has killed about 400 Palestinians since the ceasefire. So where do you think that this ceasefire is going to go if one side is continuously killing the other side? And as much as Hamas wants a ceasefire, because let's be real, they actually want a ceasefire and they're willing to accept all of, well, I'll be real with you, all the stakes that Israel's putting out. Pretty much saying that, look, you guys are going to have to demilitarize. You'll have to give up your arms. You'll have to allow a security bunker. And they was ready for all of that. But yet Israel still strikes them, and they're still trying to annex the West Bank, even though Trump told them to stop. Now, I'm not sure where Trump stands right now, but it doesn't seem like he really cares too much, to be quite honest. But, oh, no, shout out. I got to call my man Monty, because shout out for the baller word. He said to open up the lines off the rip. And don't worry, bro, I'll bring you up soon. And shout out to my man Jet. He says, well, my super chat is useless. Well, let's see if we can hit 200. And shout out to my man Jet. I appreciate that. All right, though, let's get right to it. And guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video.
if they don't disarm, as they agreed to do, they agreed to it, and then they'll be held to pay for them. And we don't want that. We're not looking for that. But they have to disarm within a fairly short period of time.
Israel withdrawing its forces?
Which is going to be tough because Hamas is also fighting an Israeli-backed paramilitary group that's in Gaza, and then they're also dealing with the IDF as well. So I'm be honest with you, it's looking very slim for that ceasefire. But you know, God willing, of course, God willing, I hope it works out.
Oh, that's a separate subject. We'll talk about that.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. President, did you have a message for the Prime Minister about the West Bank? And are you at all concerned that Israeli settler violence, could be undermining the peace plan?
Well, we have had a big discussion for a long time on the West Bank. And I wouldn't say we agree on the West Bank 100%, but we will come to a conclusion on the West Bank.
If I could ask, what is the disagreement?
Well, I don't want to do that. It'll be announced at an appropriate time. But
Okay.
He will do the right thing. I know that. I
Are you
know him
sure?
very well. He will.
Are you sure, bro? Like Trump, you got to understand, they've been doing this for a minute. They've been plotting this for a minute, and they're getting it off. They've even killed a Palestinian American citizen, and we ain't did shit about it. Like, to be quite honest with you, like, guys, we ain't done nothing about it. So I'm really wondering, like, are we going to stop them from annexing the West Bank? Because they're not supposed to. Hamas isn't there, and anybody who says Hamas is there is lying to you. They're just stealing the land.
Do the right thing. Yes.
There is a growing fear of a confrontation between Israel and Turkey. How are you going to ease this tension given the fact that President Erdogan calls Mr. Netanyahu Hitler and compares Israel to the Nazis?
Well, I know President Erdogan very well. And as you all know, he's a very good friend of mine. And I believe that, and I do respect him, and Bibi respects him. And they're not going to have a problem. They're not going to have a problem. I know him very well. And you've seen me do things with President Erdogan and Turkey that nobody else could have done. We're not going to have a problem. He's done a fantastic job. I'm with him all the way. I'm with Bibi all the way. Nothing's going to happen. Yes.
Are you concerned that Israel is not moving quickly enough to phase 2 of the peace plan?
Well, I'm not concerned about anything that Israel's doing. I'm concerned about what other people are doing or maybe aren't doing. But I'm not concerned. They've lived up to the plan. They're strong. They're solid. And sometimes they don't understand when somebody violates something that you want to give them a second chance. Well, we'll give them a couple of second chances. But no, Israel's.
Did he just really admit that Israel violated ceasefire? He's like, look, man, we're going to give him another chance, you know? People make mistakes. Look, man, my man Bibi, he's not that bad of a guy. He just broke a couple ceasefires, with Hamas and Lebanon. I mean, it is what it is.
Lived up to the plan 100%. Don't forget, we made the plan possible by taking out Iran. And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are,
well, no, they're building up. Now they are building up weapons. They're building up their missile system, their missile defense system, since it was completely decimated by Israel, especially their air defense system and their missile defense system. Now they were still able to fire, but like I said, Israel caught them off guard, and they pretty much rebuilded their missiles and upgraded their missiles. And I'm telling you right now, Israel did not like that. They want that to cease, dead the whole operation. So, I mean, they're fear mongering on that. And then, to add a little bit more on top of it, the cherry on top. Oh, no, they're also going to try to start doing their nuclear enrichment again, with no proof at all.
they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing. And I hope they're not doing it, because we don't want to waste the fuel on a B-2. It's a 37-hour trip both ways. I don't want to waste a lot of fuel. Okay?
President Trump, because of your last remarks regarding the pardon request of Prime Minister Netanyahu, Herzog office told us that you have not talked after the official request of Prime Minister Netanyahu pardon. Can you clarify to us, did you talk
Which
about
request
it?
are you talking about?
With the President Herzog, the Israeli President Herzog. Did you talk with him directly?
President Erdogan?
Herzog. The Israeli President.
So you're talking about pardon?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got to say that. No, I think he's going to be in great shape. He's a wartime prime minister at the highest level. He's achieved tremendous success. And I'll say it, if you had 8 out of 10 prime ministers in his position right now.
But let's be real, though. I mean, Bibi is guilty of corruption. And, depending on who you ask, committing a genocide and war crimes as well. But he is definitely, for sure, guilty of corruption. I mean, you can watch the Bibi files, or you can read Israeli media. They talk about it all the time, how he's low-key dodging these corruption charges by, keeping constant conflicts going. And you want to know how I know that's true? Because as things start to simmer down in Gaza, what did he do? Start bombing Lebanon, and then also got involved in Syria. Like, you kind of see the play now.
Or before right now, maybe. You wouldn't have Israel any longer. Israel would not exist. I'd say two of them would, and 8 of them wouldn't. Those are not good odds. You needed a very special man to really carry through and really help Israel through this horrible jam. These are major factions, and it started with our negotiation with Iran. I think it probably started with Soleimani. That was really where you mentioned that today, which started with Soleimani. Bad guy, doing bad things, hurting a lot of people, killing American soldiers and other soldiers. But it started right there, would probably be the starting point. And then from that point forward, but you have a wartime prime minister at the highest level. There could be other wartime prime ministers, but they'd lose. He won. And I think the people of Israel appreciate it. I think a lot of the people in the world appreciate it, actually. And because of that victory, we were able to get peace.
Bro, the whole world see this man as a war criminal. The only people who don't see this man as a war criminal is people in the United States and some people in Europe. But majority of the world sees this man as a war criminal. I'm sorry, Trump. Trust me, his own people see him honestly, as a criminal as well. Like I said, corruption. So I don't know about that.
The Middle East. If you had a different kind of a personality, if you had a weak person or a stupid person, and there are plenty of both of them, you would not have had success, and you might not have Israel. And you report for Israel. I know you're very proud of it, and you do a great job. You might not have a job because there might not be an Israel right now if you had a different prime minister. That's a big statement, but to me, it's a very simple statement to make. I'm looking at Pete Hegseth, and he's sort of nodding If they don't have a strong prime minister, Pete, you might not have Israel today. I think he'll go down in the record books. And, you know, I was a big help. I'll be honest with you, big help. Somebody said in the room, if you don't have Trump, you needed a proper combination of everything. And if you didn't have that combination, which they had, you would not have an existing Israel right now. And the people of Israel know it. That's why they like me, and it's why they actually like him. He's got a little bit of a love-hate more than I do over there. But you know what? Even the haters have a lot of respect for him. There's a lot of jealousy about him. A lot of jealousy. Jealousy is a bad word. But I believe you would not have Israel right now. So it's a big deal. Yeah, please.
A recent poll showed that as many of
Look, I mean, I could respect him for, of course, retaliating on a group of terrorists that attacked his people, and we can all respect that. The problem is the reaction. Yeah, we can all now call it an overreaction, because let's be real, 12 to 1,500, and you guys take out what, 70,000? I mean, shoot, it was reported in May that they took out 53,000, and only about what, 9,000 of them were Hamas, and the rest were civilians. So, yeah. I mean, we were all with you at first, and you kind of lost us with the reckless bombing of women and children.
As half of Gazans would be willing to leave the Gaza Strip if afforded the opportunity to do so. Back in February, you said that all Gazans should leave.
I heard that number today. Half of Gaza would leave. I've always said it. I said if they were given the opportunity to live in a better climate, they would move. They're there because they sort of have to be. I think it would be a great opportunity. But
oh, guys, do me a favor and double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. If you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud. Just $2 and up. Appreciate the support.
Let's see if that opportunity presents itself. But we're helping the people of Gaza a lot. So is Israel, by the way. So we'll see what happens. But I saw that it was a poll. It was actually more than half the people would leave if they were given the opportunity. And I've been saying that for a long time. To me, it was common sense. So it's interesting.
Why wouldn't countries accept them?
Look, let's not talk about it because we don't want the controversy. Right now, we're helping Gaza. But if they were given the opportunity, I think even higher than that, the group that did the poll is usually, I call them negative pollsters. You have a lot of them. And yet this poll was, I think, very accurate, other than it would be more than half the people if given the opportunity. But they haven't been given that opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
Point of understanding regarding Syria.
We do have an understanding regarding Syria. Now, with Syria, your new president, I respect him. He's a very strong guy, and that's what you need in Syria. You can't put a choir boy. You can't put somebody that's a perfect person. Everything's nice, no problems in life. You have the opposite there. He's a strong guy. We get along with him great. I can't ask for any more. He's been with us all the way. We had that mishap with ISIS, and he was with us all the way.
And shout out to my man Jed. He says, "I don't care what BB does do." I don't care what he's pretty much saying. I don't care what BB does do. You just don't ask US for help. I mean, yeah, that's all. That's all we ask for. I mean, like I said, I was covering it yesterday. Look, Israel just approved $110 billion military spending bill to try to separate themselves or try to wane themselves off of our military assistance and, the $3 billion that we give them, plus weapons. So, yeah, I mean, y'all can do it on your own. Do we really have to get involved? But the way Trump is talking, the way things are lining up, is looking like we're going to be willing to back Israel up. Now, boots on the ground, I don't think so. I think we're going to be probably providing that air support like we did during the 12-day war with our submarines, wasting missiles. Not for us, but for the great land of Israel. That's all.
Fighting us, he was fighting them. So I hope I'm sure that Israel and him will get along. I will try and make it so that they do get along. I think they will. Bibi, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, well, our interest is to have a peaceful border with Syria. Our interest is to have, and we openly say it, we want to make sure that the border area right next to our border.
Now, here's the problem, though. Bibi got involved in Syria. Yes, he bombed, I believe it was southern Syria, and on the guidelines of what was it, protecting the Kurds. There was a little conflict going on there, and Syria could have handled it themselves. But for some reason, Israel decided to get involved and start bombing places in Syria. So, I mean, like I said, during this whole time from the 12-day war to now, I mean, they basically started it back with Hamas. They've bombed Lebanon and they bombed Syria. Like wild.
Is safe. We don't have terrorists. We don't have attacks. And we also want to secure our Druze friends. And by the way, I think not only the Druze, but other minorities, especially the Christians, should be protected as well in Syria and throughout the Middle East and in Nigeria. In your efforts, we back completely because Christian communities are beleaguered around the world and especially in the Middle East, but in parts of Africa too. And we stand for the same thing.
And don't forget, it was President Erdogan that helped very much get rid of a very bad ruler of Syria. That was President Erdogan. And he never wanted the credit for it, but he really gets a lot of credit. Bibi agrees with that. I agree with, I mean, I know it. And President Erdogan should get a lot of good credit for what he did. He got rid of some very bad people. And you know, they've been wanting to do that for 1,000 years with different names, but for 1,000 years in Syria, President Erdogan did it. And we give him a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit. But I think it's going to work out well between Syria and Israel.
Mr. President, about
yeah, go ahead, please.
The Lebanese government, is not meeting the terms of the ceasefire agreement, has failed to disarm Hezbollah, actually. In your view, should Israel strike the terrorist organization again?
Well, we're going to see about that.
God damn it.
See about it.
Yeah, like I said, they struck Lebanon, aka Hezbollah. So they struck Hezbollah in Lebanon. They asked Hezbollah to disarm. The people of Lebanon does not want Hezbollah to disarm, so they ignored that. And this is going to be a reason why we might be getting involved with Lebanon, with Israel. Like, for goodness sake, can they just not involve us in anything? Like, is it just possible for them to do that? Or we always got to follow up on them on their bullshit? Like, honest.
The Lebanese government is at a little bit of a disadvantage, if you think of it, with Hezbollah. But Hezbollah has been behaving badly, so we'll see what happens.
How close are we to another operation of Israel in Iran? You said before the meeting with Netanyahu that you're in support of Israel if the ballistic missile project will take on and also the nuclear weapon. But after the meeting, after what you know from the intelligence, how close are we to another war with Iran?
Well, I don't want to say that, but Iran may be behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed. But if it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. You know, consequences will be very powerful, maybe more powerful than the last time. Yeah. And Iran should have made a deal the last time. I gave them the option. I said, you can make a deal. Do it. I told them, do it. And
and shout out Janetta for sending the New Year's Eve 2026 for 260 jewels. Appreciate the support. Hey, I appreciate that. And Happy New Year's. We're almost there.
They didn't believe me. Now they believe me.
Evidence that Iran is behaving badly, and what do you mean by that?
This is just what we hear. But usually where there's smoke, there's fire. Have you heard the expression?
I mean, do you mean related to the nuclear capability?
Well, no, I'm hearing that they're not nuclear yet, but maybe nuclear too. The sites were obliterated, but they're looking at other sites. That's what I heard. They're looking. So it'll take a long time. They're not going to go back to where they were, but they have other places they can go. And if they're doing that, they're making a big mistake. Yeah, please. There's no reason for them to do it.
No, he's right. There is no reason for them to do it. And that's why they're most likely not doing it. And once again, this is Israel just trying to drag us into war with Iran because think about it. They got to add a cherry on top. It's like, first, they got to fearmonger about the weapons system. But their missile system and how they've advanced it. And then they got to just throw in there. And also, they might be enriching uranium again in a different spot. Here we go again, guys. Here we go again.
Is the United States currently open to engaging in bilateral discussions with Tehran? We're hearing reports from numerous countries that there may be some discussions. Is that something you would support, or something that is
I would.
You would support that?
I would, yes.
Right now.
I have been, by the way, before the war, I would support that. I said to him, baby, I said, let's negotiate. And they
right now, Tehran is in a very vulnerable place, and they're kind of, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. So the president of Iran, and this came out probably about a couple of days ago, but the president of Iran was urging that the government, aka the Ayatollah, start actually hearing out the protesters, right? And these protesters are protesting, well, not for the overthrow of the government, but for these guys to, well, solve the currency problem. And remember, they're dealing with U.S. sanctions. We're starting to take oils. We're starting to seize oil from Venezuela that Iran gets to. That's also hurting them. They're getting economically squeezed, and their people are taking the brunt of it, to be quite honest with you. So this is one of the many things, and they're blaming us. Of course, they're blaming us because you know how the government's going to spin it. Well, you know, those Americans and their sanctions, and there's some truth to that. There is. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on right there. They're kind of going through their own thing, and I doubt they're going to talk to us right now because they're too busy blaming us.
They didn't believe what was going to happen would happen. Yes, ma'am.
On China. So China has been doing naval exercises basically to test encircling Taiwan. Can you explain to us what your knowledge is of that? What do you think about that? Have you had any discussions with China?
Well, I have a great
that?
relationship with President Xi, and he hasn't told me anything about it. I certainly have seen it, but he hasn't told me anything about it, and I don't believe he's going to be doing it. No, nothing worries me. Nothing.
So if you're if you're doing naval exercises and air exercises.
Well, they've been doing naval exercises for 20 years in that area. Now people take it a little bit differently, but in fact, larger than they're doing right now. So we'll see. But they've been doing that for 20, 25 years. Yeah.
Mr. President, if you don't see Hamas disarm in that short amount of time that you're giving them, can you tell us what the next steps would be?
It'll be horrible for them. Horrible. It's going to be really, really bad for them. And I don't want that to happen.
I can count on,
but they made an agreement that they were going to disarm. And you couldn't blame Israel. By the way, we have other countries that will come in and do it. They said, let us do it for you if they don't. Countries that were with them wanted the deal to be made, agreed that they would disarm. And now if they say they're going to disarm, that's fine. If they say they're not going to disarm, those same countries will go and wipe them out.
Man, like I said, there's two people that they want to disarm. They want Hamas to disarm, and there's a problem with that because Israel kind of put their own little shady tactic in there. There's an Israeli-backed Israeli-backed militia that is out there actually fighting Hamas. So how can Hamas disarm when they're still fighting this militia, as well as the IDF continuously bombing them? So I'm not really sure how that disarming Hamas is going to work. Pretty much people are still fighting Hamas. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Hezbollah, well, they're not really fighting nobody, but the people of Lebanon want them to keep their weapons because I guess they see them as a more competent military to defend off Israel than their own military. Yes, the people of Lebanon have more faith in a terrorist group to protect them than their own goddamn military. It's actually crazy to hear that, but that's just the way it is out there.
They don't even need Israel. You know, we have many countries, 59 countries that are in agreement. This is a real peace in the Middle East. And Hamas is a small part of it, but it's still a part of it. But we have 59 countries that signed on, big countries, countries that are outside of the Middle East, as you know, the Middle East. They want to go in and wipe out Hamas. They don't want Israel. They don't need Israel. They want to do it because it's the right thing to do, because they were for the deal based on the fact that Hamas pledged, they swore that they were going to disarm. Now, if they're not going to disarm, those same countries will wipe out Hamas. Yeah.
I mean, I think Israel just going to resume to it. Remember, the only reason the Arab countries even signed on to the peace deal was because, or the ceasefire with the peace deal, was because it had a pathway for the Palestinians to start, governing themselves and policing themselves. And that's the only reason the Arab countries signed on. not really to destroy Hamas, to be quite honest with you.
Do you think that the PA should be involved the day after in Gaza Strip, even in the near future? And the same question to Prime Minister Netanyahu. Do you see a real opportunity that the PA will be in Gaza?
Go ahead, Mimi.
I think President Trump put clearly the conditions of reform that he wants to see in the PA for them to be involved. And I think he put it very clearly what he wants to see, the kind of real reforms, not just perfunctory reforms, but real reforms. Stop pay to slay, change the curriculum in your textbooks, open up, a different society and a different future. If they do it,
wait, what?
Well, let them. I think it was clear. He put
Pretty clear.
He put guidelines that were, by the way, in the Trump plan of 2020, and they were put then in the 20 points. And
oh God, do me a favor and double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Shoot, let's get to a goal of 200 likes. So let's go ahead and double tap that screen and like the video.
It's up to them.
Remember this: if we didn't do what we did to Iran, just to make the subject just slightly different, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. You wouldn't have a deal signed in the Middle East. You wouldn't have a deal because other Arab nations, which are great people. I know them very well. I know them well. They're great people. They wouldn't be able to have agreed to peace in the Middle East because you would have had a dark cloud hanging over everything. It wouldn't have been possible. So Iran has been greatly reduced in power, prestige. I don't want to use the word humiliation because, they're trying to build up again. But we can't let them build up because if they build up, there can't be peace.
I'm gonna be real with you. Iran is still the military power in that area. Like when it comes to the military might of an Arab country, Iran is probably the big dog over there. So let's not just play them like they suckers now. Now, yes, they are going through a water shortage. Yes, they're going through currency problems. But hey, apparently they're ignoring all that and focusing on defense. Apparently, and also they're trying to push for regional stability in other Arab countries. And, mainly they're talking to Yemen. And Yemen, well, this is going to be a little bit of Middle Eastern news, but Yemen have actually ordered all of their UAE ambassadors to leave within 24 hours because, well, UAE actually just struck Yemen. And Israel and UAE actually do work pretty closely if you don't know.
In the Middle East. It was a mistake. When they wiped out Iraq and Iran were about the same power. And they fought each other with different names for 1,000 years. And then our country came out and blew up one of those two countries, namely Iraq. And all of a sudden, Iran had the whole Middle East all to itself.
Yep.
But that's not true anymore. That's not true anymore.
Say it? Tell us something about your plan to expand the Abraham Accords. If you can tell us something about your plan to expand the Abraham Accords.
Well, the Abraham Accords are great. It was a great achievement of Jared and everybody. It was one of the great achievements. They'll be expanded. Countries are already talking about expanding it, and they'll be expanded fairly quickly. Yeah, please.
Is it still on the table? The normalization.
Saudi Arabia is great. We have a great leader and a friend of mine and a friend of a lot of people. Also an enemy of some people, but those people aren't doing so well. Saudi Arabia has been very good as far as I'm concerned. They've done everything that we can ask for.
But normalization with Israel is on the
They're getting along great with Israel. They will. And at some point, they'll sign the Abraham Accords.
Mr. President, we know. So one of the big domestic tasks ahead of you is to pick a new chairman for the Fed.
Yeah.
You've said that you have one favorite, but you're also doing interviews.
Still do. Hasn't changed. Yeah, I'll announce them at the right time. There's plenty of time.
Are you?
But in the meantime, we're doing numbers that nobody's ever seen. We have $18 trillion coming in. We had a 4.3% GDP. They thought it was going to be 2%. And that's despite the Democrat shutdown. Had the shutdown.
To give you the complete economic rundown, inflation dropped from 3% to 2.7%. Over the past 3 months, we've added about 67,000 jobs to the economy. And then, of course, GDP rose 4.3%. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, those are all positive things. Hey, and according to Jobs, at least we didn't lose at a negative. We're actually at a positive, a net positive.
Down not occurred, we would have had an extra point and a quarter. Think of that. We are doing, and also despite the fact that we have a fool at the Federal Reserve. I mean, Biden reappointed him. It's too bad. You would have thought he wouldn't have done that. But he's an absolute fool who's building a new Federal Reserve, or he's doing a renovation of a building. Maybe he's up to $4.1 billion to do a renovation of a few very small buildings. It's the highest price in the history of construction. He's spending more money than any building has ever spent per square foot on the renovation of, as an example, I'm doing a magnificent, big, beautiful ballroom that the country has wanted, the White House has wanted for 150 years. It's a massive job, and it's a tiny fraction of that number. And we're under budget and ahead of schedule. Now it's bigger than I told you. It's after realizing we're going to do the inauguration in that building, it's got all bulletproof glass. It's got all drone. They call it drone-free roof. So drones won't touch it. It's a big, beautiful, safe building, but it's a big project for a tiny fraction of that. We're under budget and ahead of schedule, and they've wanted it for 150 years. Think of it: the Federal Reserve building, 2 buildings there. They don't know what they're doing. They're way over budget. I mean, almost. This was built during the Biden administration. And I rode by it the other day, and it's headed by the head of the Federal Reserve. Too late, too late, Powell. Too late because he's always too late with interest rates, except before the election. He was too early because that would have helped. That was supposed to help get her elected. It had no impact. We won all 7 swing states. But no. We're thinking about bringing a suit against Powell for incompetence. Yep. Because think of it. These aren't outstanding buildings. These are small buildings. He said $4 billion more. It's going to end up costing more than $4 billion. $4 billion. It's the highest price of construction. Again, Democrats. Highest.
All right. Well, while Trump is getting petty with Powell, we'll go ahead and move on to the next video. Apparently, that video cost a little bit more than Trump expected. All right. He said, I know I might have to take him to court for that one. That is hilarious. Hilariously petty, I'll admit. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the right side of news as we make our way over to the left side. And while we do that, let's go ahead and bring in our guy, Monty. How you doing, dog?
What's up, man?
That's all good, man. So, hey, what you think so far at that little bilateral meeting?
It's just exchanging pleasantries. Notice how Netanyahu nominates him for the Nobel Peace Prize, and then
of Israel
doesn't get of Israel. Yeah. It's like just ego stroking and whatever. But it's hilarious how many people lose their ever loving minds if they see Trump and Netanyahu in the same room. It's almost like there's a war going on. And,
I'm telling you, they literally lose their ish every time they see them together. It's like, bro, they see them and it's just like,
but you put him and Zelensky in a room together, and no big deal. You put him and Putin in the room together, no big deal. You put him and Kim Jong-un
you put him and Putin in the room together, and you got a whole bunch of leftists calling him a traitor.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right. He's just completely here to sell out the entire United States. Sorry, was I talking about Obama?
Shoot. Well, according to the libs, he's out here selling out Ukraine. But all right,
Ukraine sold themselves out. Like they lost. They're losing. And what is it? Zelensky just tried to assassinate Putin again.
Oh yeah, at his place. I mean, bro, it is getting bad. Actually, bro, on Monday, Putin told his army to press on with the campaign to take full control.
How are you going to start bitching about peace and come and grovel at the United States doorstep in your pajamas and then try to assassinate somebody?
All right. But all right, bro. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the video because Brett Baer breaks down Trump's relationship with Netanyahu, because I believe he's about to have an interview with him. Let's go ahead and get right into it. And guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen.
We begin with a Fox News alert. Anchor and executive editor of Special Report, Brett Baier, will sit down exclusively with Netanyahu following his meeting with President Trump. That interview will air tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Let's bring in Brett Baier, the executive editor of Special Report, as well as our chief political anchor. Brett, I just want to go to some of the reporting because it had suggested that there was some daylight between the prime minister and the president of the United States. That was the reporting, but at least publicly, it doesn't look like there's any daylight.
Yeah, Lawrence, good afternoon. I don't think there is any. They went out of their way, both leaders, to say how close they were. In fact, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu announcing that they are going to award President Trump the Israel Award, which has never been given to a non-Israeli, and that was announced over lunch today. Apparently, they've agreed on a lot of the differences that they've had on specifics. They didn't get too far into the weeds there, but had talked about Hamas disarmament, getting to the next step of the peace plan, talked about Iran and giving the green light if they are rebuilding a missile program or a nuclear program, that they may have to be struck again, in President Trump's words, and there was synergy there between.
Hopefully that little threat is enough to just get them to stop. But who knows? Because like I said, a lot of people we were even debating if Iran was even truly a nuclear threat, because, well, they didn't have a nuke, obviously. But, I mean, they were enriching uranium to 60%. Were they going to use that for, nuclear purposes? Or nuclear weapon purposes?
That's all you can use it for.
I mean, you can also use, negotiate away, as, they were trying to say.
So that's like holding someone hostage and saying you're negotiating. That's like pulling a gun out and saying, I'm negotiating with you.
Yeah, you could take the 60%.
It might be an empty gun with no bullets in it, but it's still pulling a gun out.
I mean, true, but at least they're letting you know that it's empty, right?
They're looking for the bullets actively.
Literally while scrambling for the bullets. But shout out to my
empty.
man.
What do you mean? It's for peaceful purposes.
But shout out my man Jay. He says Trump is getting on 50 Cent level of petty with Powell. Literally, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to take him to court over that.
I mean,
like,
that's apparently that's where the governance is done. That's where governing this country is done now, is in the court systems.
Yeah, as a Fed chair,
we live in a judiciocracy. Is that a word? Did we just invent a new fucking form of governance?
Well, shoot, all I know is that, yeah, he's pretty upset with Powell over the pricing of that building, or the cost to build that building. And of course, Powell holding out on cutting the rate.
Well, think about this.
Powell waited for everything that pretty much Trump predicted and like Scott Besson predicted to happen before he cut the rate. Like, they was warning of an economic slowdown. There was a warning of all of this stuff. And Powell said, no, wait till it happens. Then we'll solve it. So he's more of a reactive Fed chair than a proactive one.
Well, think about this, Set. Trump is actively building a ballroom for $300 and something million. The Fed is building basically a boardroom for $4 billion. Because what do you do? What do they do at the Fed other than talk about how to fuck the American people? It's just a boardroom. They just sit there and talk. Yep. So why does it cost $4 billion to build a glorified conference room?
What you mean? Cost $4 billion to talk money, man?
I guess.
President Trump and Bibi Netanyahu. So for all the reporting, Lawrence, of this big gap between the two leaders, at least publicly, to your point, it doesn't seem that in this press conference or the one before they sat down.
There is something interesting. We've always had commanders in chiefs that were close to Israel, although some have been critical, at least when it comes to the spending and the public remarks. They have been known as our closest ally. This president looks at them at an ally, but he also looks at himself as being the person that is bridging the Arab world as well as the Jewish people together. Brett, what did you make of that? Even when it came down to some of these breakdowns in relationships between Turkey, as well as what's happening with Iran, the president kept saying, I'll handle that. They'll get along. Things will be okay.
Yeah, well, he does have personal relationships with all of these leaders. You know, I traveled to the Middle East with President Trump, and I saw the interaction with Qatar and Saudi Arabia and the UAE. He has a personal relationship with President Erdogan of Turkey, and that's when he talks about that, despite the fact that Turkey and Israel, when they talk about each other, talk in very different terms. The personal relationship between President Trump and these leaders individually, he says, is going to drive the day, and it may very well. It has served him well in the
yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. The only reason why Turkey honestly is cool with Israel and Egypt is because we kind of paid them off. Like literally, that's the only reason why. And we somewhat kind of threatened them. But you know, adding a little money on top always helps us. Always helps. It always helps.
Abraham Accords, and they are hoping to expand those to include Saudi Arabia. They want to include Syria eventually, and it seems like Bibi Netanyahu is heading down that direction. Obviously, there's criticism that the Trump administration has had of Bibi Netanyahu and how he's operated specifically, but today you did not see that. You didn't see it publicly, and behind closed doors, I'm told the meetings went very well.
Brett, I want to get your reaction to something else, because the President of the United States, before this meeting yesterday, had a bilateral meeting as well as an intelligence meeting with the President of Ukraine. And you had the opportunity to speak with him. And I found this part of your interview that's going to air later on tonight fascinating. Let's play it.
Do you think you could win or end this war on your terms if the U.S. withdraws support? If they get frustrated in this process and you can't get it across the finish line, can you end this?
If we're speaking, can we win without American support? No.
I mean, hey, at least he's honest. At least he's honest.
At least he is.
I mean,
yeah, I was about to say, like, what exactly?
Though, like, why do you guys think Ukraine could win when they can't even win without us? Hey, shout out to the honesty, but go ahead, Monty.
I don't know. I mean, it's the idea of it is, so I mean, so what he's saying is we need to stop supporting them, because all we're doing is being warmongers. That's all we're doing. That is all we're doing by supporting them, is allowing more people to die.
So pretty much is when United States puts down this wallet for Ukraine, peace will come. Crazy.
Yeah, we're funding a war. What? Since when have Democrats been okay with widespread proliferation of war?
I mean, that's true, but shout out to one of my Democrats. Shout out, or one of the liberals. Link, how you doing, brother?
Oh, dear.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Man, it's all good. So what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I just had an off-topic thing real quick, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Just 2 minutes. I just want to say, Monty, I'm not sure. I've never blocked you or hidden you from any platform, so if you can't see my chat, it's something on your end.
I can't see it on YouTube, but I can see it on StreamYard, where where you can see everybody's stuff. But
all right, and then as a math person, can you correct your statement from yesterday about the maths have a solution thing?
No, I'm not. All problems have a solution. They wouldn't be a problem if they didn't have a solution.
What was 12 divided by 0?
It's undefined.
That's not an yeah. What's undefined? It's not. Yeah.
It's a solution to the problem.
It's not. That's a no solution.
Are you just trying to hijack the stream, or
no? It's
undefined. Undefined is an accepted answer. It's a solution to the problem. That does not mean it's not a solution. It means it's undefined.
Okay, so like, how about x plus 1 equals x?
X plus 1 equals x. That would be 0. X equals 0.
That'd be.
Or excuse me. No. X equals -1. My bad.
No, it'd be 0 equals 1.
0 equals 1.
But that's an answer. Now,
it's not, but it's not an answer.
I mean, yeah, it is. Like if you say you said 12 divided by 0, somebody says undefined.
So tell me,
they're giving you an answer.
So tell me, Link, with your disingenuous smart aleck ass.
I'm being. It's 100%. It's 100% honest.
What relevance is that to the conversation that we were having yesterday?
I don't know.
Nothing. Okay, that's what I thought.
So yeah, that's why I said it was an off-topic thing. It just as somebody who loves math, it just bothers me when people say incorrect facts. So yeah,
It's not an incorrect fact. Every problem has a solution. A problem that
zero,
does not
zero,
exist is not a problem. Please
zero.
tell me when you need to solve for x when x equals 1.
And all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get back to the video on this one because ain't no way. All right, let's get back on track because the audience isn't appreciating it too much.
Because we can't first. We will think about all the soldiers will think only about their families, and without American support, we can't defend the sky. Even now, it's very difficult. But American support with missiles for air defense really helpful and strong in any case. Russia uses hundreds, you see hundreds and thousands of drones and missiles. So it's difficult. You know, it's not enough air defense. And on the battlefield, we use some weapons which we buy from America, some rounds, artillery, and etc. from American side. Without it, of course, we can't win.
Brett,
Set.
The reason why I
Did he really just come in here to try to challenge me on bullshit? And leave?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much. And
that's what we call a suicide streamer, suicide chatter.
But
just
now let's make sure we stay on track though, because we can't spend too much time on that one.
That was ridiculous.
Bro, shout out to this man Zelensky for keeping it real for the guys, for the pro-Ukrainian guys who've been so delusional about Ukraine winning this war. And here's the problem. They've been losing it. They need us to win. They've been begging us for missiles. Think about it. If they were winning, they wouldn't need us for anything. They wouldn't definitely need to be begging us for missiles, and they'd be able to fight Russia on an even level. But they can't. So it is what it is.
That's so fascinating. You know, it's obvious that Russia is the aggressor in this, but the president has made it very clear that a deal must be done. And it takes me back to that moment in the Oval Office where the president tells Zelensky, you have no cards. And it seems like Zelensky is finally back to this point now where he's willing to make some sort of concessions.
100%, Lawrence. You know, first of all, President Trump's relationship with President Zelensky has evolved over the years. And that Oval Office meeting was obviously one of the darkest moments of their relationship. But since then, they've had really good talks from both sides as I've listened in. I, believe it or not, have sat down with Zelensky 6 times since the beginning of the war.
Sure.
I've been over there on the front lines. He's been here up in New York at the UN General Assembly. He came here and they reached out. And of course, we said we'd love to sit down. Tonight, you'll see a very optimistic Zelensky, but realistic when it comes to Vladimir Putin.
And we're going to get into that interview because the interview released today and I got it already queued up. But I want to show you guys some information first before we get right into that.
And he is very specific that he thinks they are 90 to 95% there on this 20-point plan, but really is skeptical that Putin wants to get to peace and needs to see the pressure put on Vladimir Putin by President Trump. That said, he talks very positively about his interactions with President Trump. He talks very positively about working with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to try to get this thing across the finish line. But first of all, his English has improved dramatically in the 6 times that I've talked to him. So you're going to see this lay out in English, and we're going to air a lot of this. That'll be the first time that you see him deal with some of the specifics in a way that he really hasn't before.
All right, guys. Now let's go ahead and get to our guys over here at Redacted. Now, if you are a pro-Ukrainian guy, I'm sorry, but you are going to lose your mind right now. All right, guys, let's get right into it.
Redacted has learned from our sources.
Oh, and shout out to my man Jet. He says Zelensky gonna fuck around and find out, end up with the fob up his ass. Ah, Jesus. And I mean, hey, yeah, for some reason he don't understand this.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Of new death.
Do you just have those ready to play?
Yes. Like, bro,
That's
come on
awesome.
now. Like, think about
That shit is hard. Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And then there's
stop it. Get some help.
For my pro-Ukrainian guys, because y'all really do need to
stop it. Get some help.
There you go.
has learned from our sources of new death totals in Russia and Ukraine that we want to share with you. These numbers are incredibly hard to swallow. Until now, these numbers have not been fully reported on the Russian side specifically, because a lot of people would be upset to hear these numbers. As of today, December 18th, I'm going to throw up our non-pretty graphic here on the screen to walk you through this. The number of people killed in Ukraine as of today, 1.3 million, 77,045. And here's how that breaks down. Ukrainian soldiers killed is 1,009,367. NATO soldiers killed, including mercenaries, active and contractors, 297,894 dead. Civilians killed by Russia in Ukraine, 1,883. Civilians killed by Ukraine in Ukraine, meaning they have killed a lot of their own people, as you know, and we've been covering that for years. That number is 67,901. 19,149 missing civilians. And across all categories, and of course, we've been reporting on that missing number, which of course is very interesting because a lot of Ukrainian mothers, fathers.
I'm not gonna lie. Now, some of these missing guys, kind of skedaddled, and ran for the icy mountains of Romania, and they're being rescued by Romanians. But yeah, a lot of them pretty much skedaddled and got the hell up out of there because they didn't want to fight a losing war. So, they took this route and got it through.
So we can say that this is probably one of the biggest fails of the Biden administration or of any presidential administration to let a war happen that has killed almost 1.3 million people. Good job. Good job. Good job, Democrats.
Yep.
They've been classified as missing, therefore they don't have to receive death.
And I promise you, bro, they're going to be pulling teeth to release this information. Their information is going to come out soon, and the mainstream media is going to be pulling teeth. They are not going to want to release it, but it's
they're not going to release that because
but here's the thing: does this not reflect why the peace deal is weighted towards Russia? Does this not reflect that Russia's pretty much been dominating?
Yes, I mean it does. You don't need to dominate a war to win a war. Usually there's a rule of like 10%. It's usually on the occupying forces side. If you lose 10% of your people, probably not a good idea to keep the war going. However, they're not an occupying force. They are, that's the homeland. But this is basically essentially a de facto dictator that's running his people to die. These are not voluntary, Ukrainian military that, want to get up and defend their homeland. They're conscripts, and they're just being sent into a meat slaughter by other conscripts. You have two sides where men that do not want to fight in the war are fighting in a war, and nothing's being done about it, except maybe we should give them some more NATO assets. Maybe we should give them some more funding. For what? A vanity project because you don't want to make your Prince Biden look bad?
Benefits.
All right.
And that's how that works in Ukraine. So that number is very high on the missing side, probably dead, unfortunately. Specifically on the civilian side, but on the soldier side too, the missing. Across all categories, that number is 2.3 million people dead in Ukraine, captured, missing, or injured in Ukraine.
Okay.
Now to the Russian side. 642,014 Russians have been killed.
Oh my gosh.
That number, 182,042 of them are contracted military or mercenaries.
Bro, so we're pretty much like about 300.
They have a 2-to-1 KD.
Bro, yeah, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro. People would say, "Oh, 1 million people died on Russia's side, 1 million," and it's like, no, actually, not really, not even 1 million. Like they were 350,000 off.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's bro, it's complete domination out there. These liberals wanted to keep it going. We can't let Russia win. I'm like, sadly, I mean, it's not about what we allow.
You let Russia win. You let Russia win when you let Russia invade. That's the matter of the point. And there's no way to get around it. There's no way to bury it. There's no way for Link to spin it. It's not. there's no way to get around that fact. The Democratic Party, at the behest of frickin' Joe Biden, who probably wasn't even fucking awake for this to happen, let this happen. And it's funny. It's funny that they love to point and put, oh, it would have happened anyway. Why did he specifically wait until the middle of Biden's presidency to do so, if it was just going to happen? Why did he wait until all this has happened? Why did Biden not reach out to Putin the entire time he was president and say, hey, let's end this war or this special military operation or whatever the hell they called it?
Oh no, because the Biden administration wanted war with Putin. I mean, they wanted.
They absolutely did. They wanted to fight a proxy war. But somehow the poor people of Ukraine. Why didn't that argument work in Vietnam? Why didn't that argument work literally any other war with Democrats? No, it happened under his watch, and now he spun it successfully so that you have a bunch of fucking idiots that can't even point to Ukraine on a map, flying Ukrainian flags on their cars, putting them outside their houses, freaking right next to their gay pride flag and their Black Lives Matter flag. That's what this is really about. It's about a social justice warrior feeling good about themselves, because that's all the Democrats do. They run off of emotion.
All right.
The number of Russian civilians killed by Ukraine is 51,874.
Can I ask, are we considering Russians part of the annexed Russia? People who voted to be Russians but were formerly thought to be Ukrainians? Do we know? Maybe we don't know.
That's a good question. Of the civilians killed by Ukraine in Ukraine, that number that we showed you earlier of the 67,000, a large portion of those, of course, former Eastern Ukraine.
Okay.
So to be clear, but I'll get some more distinction on that. The number of Russian civilians injured by Ukraine is 77,411. The number of Russian civilians killed by Russia, 21. The number of Russian civilians.
How the hell? Because civilians killed by Ukraine in Ukraine is 67,000. Russia, 21. It's like what?
A couple friendly fire accidents.
Yeah, like oops. Like, it happens. It happens. But all right, now that you guys kind of get the numbers.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, right? And
it's
guess
sad.
what?
I'm not here to defend Russia.
I'm gonna let you finish real quick, but and guess what? Europe is trying to become a part of it.
I was gonna say, I'm not trying to defend Russia, so I kind of count their deaths a little bit less than I do the Ukrainian deaths, because they are the aggressors in this matter.
Facts.
But that's over 2 million people are dead because of this. 2 million fucking people,
and we didn't even get what we want. That's the worst part.
We didn't get it. We didn't get anything. We didn't want anything. We didn't get shit.
I mean, at least under the Biden administration, we wanted Ukraine to, I don't know, win or defend them off or stalemate Russia. I'm not sure what the hell they were wishing for, but Lord knows we didn't get that. And
you would think with all the propaganda, all the propaganda with all the drones and the footage of Ukrainians on YouTube and all over the place kicking ass, you would think those numbers would look the other way.
Yeah, all those Ukrainian propaganda channels and all that. When people say, "Oh, you're a Russian stooge" and all this good stuff. I mean, look, you don't know what a Russian stooge looks like. Actually, you don't even know what a Ukrainian stooge looks like. Let me tell you what a Ukrainian stooge is. A Ukrainian stooge is a person who has a YouTube channel, like Twitter, whatever page, completely dedicated to Ukraine. That's what that looks like. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
It's sad. I hope it ends soon, honestly. And I think the best way to end it is to stop fucking writing checks for it.
Man, and shout out to my man Jay. He says, "Oh wow, Russia got a Call of Duty type KD versus Ukraine." I mean,
Jesus Christ.
You ain't lying. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this Zelensky interview.
Joining us now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Mr. President, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Brad.
This is our sixth time sitting down together since the beginning of the war. This is a crucial moment for you as you had this meeting with President Trump. What's your assessment coming out of that meeting?
It was a very important meeting. I'm thankful to President Trump. Really, it was a very productive meeting. And in Mar-a-Lago, maybe another mood here, I don't know. But in any way, so our teams worked a lot, and I'm very happy about the last a little bit more than 1 month, how our teams worked. Really, I'm thankful.
You talked in percentages and said at one point 95%, 100% on this issue. There's a 20-point plan.
Yes.
It is very detailed, but you are making significant concessions here.
20 points plan, and when I said 90%, it's true, because there are questions with only 2 points. That's why I said 90%. It's really 90%. It's very productive. Even with one question today, we've been very close, and I think we have problem with one question. It's about territories. Yes, this is a difficult question, but even with this, with the territories, even with the fact that on this one point we have different views with Russians. This is important, not with Americans, with Russians. And the United States understand the positions of sides, and they try to find a compromise. We spoke about different steps, and Ukraine demonstrated during these months these steps.
You say this is the most difficult part, settling the territorial disputes. And you've suggested that Ukraine might be willing to withdraw from Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, Kherson, the 4 provinces that Russia wants to annex, but only if it's approved in a referendum that Ukrainians could vote on. Is that still the case?
I think that Ukrainian people...
Now, and out of all honesty, I don't think it's going to work out for them, because the 20-point peace plan might be dead on arrival, because Putin has already announced that on Monday, well, actually, he's already said on Monday that he wants his army to press on forward with the campaign to take full control of Zaporizhia, or the Zaporizhia region, which is pretty much in southern Ukraine, and they say they're about 9.3 miles away from its biggest city. And this comes from Hot News RO, which is Romanian news. So this is Romanian news pretty much telling us how it is out there right now, and how Putin plans to pretty much just push towards Odessa.
So basically, in other words, he's getting everything he wants, and there's no reason for him to stop.
I mean, yeah, once he takes Odessa, that's their ports. They're cooked after that.
In referendum for the document, 20 points plan, we have a lot of documents. I'm speaking only about this document. Referendum gives if it approves positively, and I hope that everything will be done and finalized positively. So if Ukrainian nation will approve it positively, it's a great success for President Trump, because it's under his leadership. So what we have now, we have the question with the territories, and we can't, it's not about the referendum or parliament or the president. We can't just withdraw. It's out of our law. We can't just withdraw from our territories. It's not only the law. People live there. 300,000 people live there. We can't lose just people. We can't go out because hundreds of thousands have been wounded. Dozens of them have been killed there. And so I said that it's not only about the law, and also our army there. That's why we proposed, I think, the compromise. If we do free economic zone, that we have. And
now, look, the original, like the 28-point peace plan that came out with the United States and Russia, that one had those regions being de facto Russia, aka that's Russia now. But with this new peace deal that they're coming out with, went from 28 to 20-point plan. Now they're pretty much saying that, well, let us save face, and instead of making it de facto Russia, we make them trade free zones or economic free zones. And this is pretty much a way to save face, because Russia will be controlling those regions. But, it's a way for them to say, what you mean? No, we didn't actually lose. Those are economic free zones that Russia will be controlling.
We have to move some kilometers back. It means that Russia has to make mirror steps some kilometers back. And this free economic zone will have specific rules. If we will decide, the decision will be about economic zone, something like this. Referendum is the way how to accept it or not accept.
If we look at the attacks by Russia into Kyiv, drones, missiles, you go back to the beginning of the year all the way through December, it has picked up significantly. There's so many more attacks towards the end of the year. Is there any indication that you see that Vladimir Putin wants peace by what he's doing or saying?
Me not, be honest. And
I mean, let's be real. Every time this man comes back to the table, he gets a better deal. So Putin's not really seeing any reason to stop. Every time he comes back, he's like, well, I got more land, so he can get a better deal. And that's the problem. I mean, yeah, if Zelensky just doesn't give up the regions he has now, he's going to lose more. Because like I said, they're going to start pushing all the way through southern Ukraine. They're going to push towards Odessa. And at that point, it's going to be too late if Zelensky doesn't give it up. Or really the Ukrainian parliament. They're the one who have to agree to land concessions. And, they're not looking like they're going to agree to that. But yeah,
so let's lay out, because this is very easy to look at it, in a snapshot in history.
Mm-hmm.
Let's lay this out over the past 30 years. Bill Clinton's president. Russia tries to join NATO. Bill Clinton says, ha, 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 I'm too busy getting blowjobs. 2014, Russia goes and invades the Donbass. Obama, oh well, I'm too busy selling out America. 2022, Russia invades Ukraine. Biden, hey, Hunter, what do you got to say about that? And now, it's Trump's fault. Makes sense, right?
Man, I mean, if you're a leftist, it makes sense. You have TDS, it makes sense. But to the person who thinks with common sense, you're pretty much thinking like, hold on. So you tell me the Dems dropped the ball on this the entire time?
Every time they've been in power, over our recent history, any president I've been alive under, that is what's happened.
Yeah, they continuously drop the ball when it comes to Russia. But then, I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, all of them had an opportunity to make it better, especially Clinton. Clinton had the ultimate opportunity. He could have just invited invited Russia into NATO, and then that'd have been it. That'd have been the end of the story. We would not be.
Think about it. We would literally be teamed up with Russia right now against China. Who's our real actual enemy, who actually is developing their military for the sole purpose of defeating the United States
and Taiwan. But bro, we could have had access to trillions of dollars of their resources. But hold on now. Link.
But they
now hopefully Link is gonna wait. No, never mind. He went back out.
But like
go ahead.
Think about this. They helped us in World War II. We had a Cold War with them. We weren't too happy with them then. We kind of resolved that. The Soviet Union fell. All that fun stuff. Capitalism won. Communism kind of took a back seat in Russia. It's still very communist, and they have literally been trying to. Like they don't see us as a problem. They want control over their hemisphere of the world, just like we want control over our hemisphere of the world.
Yeah, that's why we're going at it with Venezuela. But shout out Link. But all right, Link. Did you actually have an on-topic point here, or
just with Monty's recap. You skipped a few years in between there, right? What we had Obama, then you went Obama to Biden. What about Trump?
Yeah. What did Russia do aggressively while Trump was president?
They were
nothing.
Nope, nothing at all.
What do you mean?
It was a very simple question. You were ready to shoot me down.
They were in Crimea.
They were in Crimea. When did that happen?
It started under Obama. Guess what? It continued. What do you mean? It didn't stop.
That's not Trump's fault.
That's not Trump's fault, dude. You can't start a war and then just turn it off.
All right.
I'm not saying. Okay, wait. Yeah, time out. Give me a second. Yeah, I didn't say Trump started the war. I'm saying that, but there was fight. But Trump didn't do anything during his first term.
What was he supposed to do?
either help Ukraine or help or end
or just
the war.
stay out of it and not proliferate it anymore.
No, bro. There was
But then
no
how can
going
you
on at that time.
What was Biden supposed to do?
Are you serious?
Yes. What was Biden supposed to do?
Any number of things. Maybe like actually have a backbone and say there's
what
going
was
to be consequences.
What was Obama supposed to do?
So do you put a wildfire
time out. So let's go. Let's go back to
no. I'm gonna put this in some perspective for you. Is it easier
How
to
is
put
it-
a wildfire? Is it easier to put a wildfire out when it's a campfire or when it's a 40,000 acre fire?
But how is it Obama's fire to put out?
Because what are you serious? He'd been president for 6
What was he
years
supposed
at
to
that
do?
point.
Well, so what
What was
actions
he
could
supposed to do?
What actions could Obama have taken that he didn't take? Is what I'm asking.
Any number of he put several
For
red
example?
lines. He put several quote unquote red lines in the sand. Remember the red line in the sand that he was boasted about and everybody gave him credit for during his first election that he said with Russia that they violated several times and did nothing. He didn't follow through on any of it. That shows weakness. Then suddenly Trump gets in office and yeah, there's still fighting going on. Not really. They just kind of annexed the area. And those people wanted to join Russia anyway. That's why they just rolled through there. So you let them, you kick them out, you isolate them from the rest of the world, you propagandize them, and then you wonder why they don't want everybody around their border joining NATO. And then Biden entertains the idea.
Okay, can I get in here? We just stop the.
No, I mean you asked what they could have done, and I'm laying out foreign policy wise what they could have done.
Can we go point by point though without doing? I can't respond.
Could have done.
I can't respond to 18 different things you're going to say.
I mean, you jumped in here ready to shoot me down, so you should have had the ammunition loaded.
But can you understand what I'm saying? Can we go?
You can. I'm. That's why I'm pausing. I'm waiting for you to pick up the conversation.
Okay, so let me think for a second. Okay, so
do the thinking while I'm talking then. So I'll continue.
Okay, I'm supposed to. Time out. How am I supposed to respond to what you're saying?
I'm doing it just fine.
Oh my god! But I'm not giving you 18 different things. Okay, so just for 1 second. So what you just said about how we were isolating them and all that stuff, that's not what was happening. If you remember correctly, during the Obama term, we were trying to have better relations for them. Remember the whole Russia reset thing? Remember when Hillary Clinton brought the actual reset button over there and it was a whole stupid gag that we all made fun of?
He told Putin, I'll have more flexibility after the election. Yeah,
exactly.
I remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So then we weren't trying to isolate them. We were trying to have a better relationship with them.
And
right?
Yet, so he'll speak. Putin is a fucking liar for one, and you have to handle him. It's not they're going to be buddy best friends. You have to handle him. He is a dictator after all. So now when you make him feel threatened because he has a small fucking ego, he's going to go and attack. Now he'll come to your face and say, oh, I want this. You know, it's no big deal. He's very, very good at propaganda. I'm not dismissing that. However, when you have that approach with him, oh, I'll have more flexibility after the election. What happens after the election? He goes and invades invades the country.
Right. Yeah. They stabbed us. We were trying to have. So we did have bad relationship with them. Obama was trying to have better relationship with them. We were building those relationships, but then.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm not a president, and you're not a president. Obviously, we're fucking simple men. I am not a foreign policy expert, but I can tell you there is a pattern going on here. Under any Democrat that I've been alive for, Russia has first tried to join NATO, which I didn't read up a whole lot on that, but it seemed like a pretty good opportunity to fucking press the reset button. Then they dropped the ball. Then
I'll have to research that more.
Yeah, it was like late into Clinton's term, I believe, or early into Clinton's term. I can't remember. But so now that shows the isolation. No, we don't want you. We don't want to be trade partners. We don't want you. In fact, we're going to put sanctions on you and yada yada yada. And so what do they do? They turn to one of our enemies, Iran. They turn to China.
Okay, can I respond back to what we were saying before about I said, well, so time out. So you were wrong about the isolating them and all that stuff, right? So we were trying.
No, I was not wrong about that's what that is. When someone tries to be your friend and you say no, what is that?
No, but then how we just went over the whole Russia reset thing, right? Obama was trying to I'll have more flexibility after that, right? So we're trying to have that good relationship with them, right? And then Russia stabbed us in the back.
20 years after they already were under talks to join NATO, and then they got the door slammed in their face. So I don't think he's going to trust you too much. We just agreed we don't know a lot about it, and that was under Clinton. That was under Obama. She's 20 years before that. We're trying to have. That's why we're okay. So Obama tried to do
in time on this conversation. We can go ahead and restart it up. We're gonna have to play the video. So I mean, you guys can think of a prompt y'all want to debate on, but let's get back to the video, guys.
I don't see it because first of all, I don't hear it publicly. His messages they go. He doesn't speak about peace. Now he doesn't speak. He says that he can go further. It's not the signals of peace. So that's why, of course, we need dialogue and pressure from President Trump. Sanctions, dialogue. He has some instruments, and he's personally can do it. I think that he's trying to do it, trying to bring this peace.
But you listened to him, and you heard him talk about.
I mean, he has no choice but to listen to him, even if you don't trust Putin. I mean, you have no choice because he's winning. So you're at the mercy of Putin's lying ass. I'm sorry, but yeah, you gotta trust Putin that if you give him what he wants, he just ain't gonna steamroll you over. Okay. So I mean, hey, look, you gotta trust Putin. Look, remember, no, Zelensky has to trust Putin. Not us. Hey, like I said, we're not the ones giving up land or nothing. We're not the ones who lost soldiers or anything like that. They're the ones who got to put their faith in Putin. So in Putin they trust, and in God we trust. So good luck with that one.
So in other words, they have two options. They can fucking stop and try to come to a peace deal, and maybe Putin rolls through them. But that's a better option than just, the entire country dying at Putin's hand, because Putin is going to roll through them.
Yeah. Like he's already cocky now. He already sees that. Oh yeah, the more land I take, the better deal I get.
The better the deals get. Yeah, exactly. Like at first we were talking about, the United States fucking creating kind of a DMZ zone where we have a vested interest in the area, which I did not like the idea of, because that's just asking to pull us into a war directly. But so it is getting better and better and better for Putin the longer he goes, and worse and worse and worse for Zelensky. Mind you, we're still funding him. We're still giving him money. He's still getting weapons. He's still, he's got all of Europe's freaking support.
No, what's pissing me off is that it's the EU and NATO's trickery on the world, pretty much trying to frame this as, oh, well, it's the United States failing to help out Ukraine. It's like, first off, they're not part of NATO. We don't owe these guys any protection. We were being nice.
Exactly. That's like someone coming and living at your house and being like, why isn't the water hot enough?
Is like, bro, like they literally feel owed to our, like, bro, they feel like we're supposed to owe Ukraine help.
So we're supposed to subsidize their healthcare and their entire fucking way of life and their entire political ideology when it differs from ours. Okay,
like, bro, we didn't even care about Ukraine until Putin cared about Ukraine. Like, let's be honest.
We could have just said fuck it and let him just roll through.
It should have been easier on us. We'd have saved a lot of money. I'll tell you that. All
right. To bring this peace.
But you listened to him, and you heard him talk about his call with Vladimir Putin. Yeah. And he speaks positively about it. In fact, there was one point in the press conference where he said this.
Russia's going to be helping. Russia wants to see Ukraine succeed.
There was a pan over to your reaction, and you kind of had your eyebrows went up and you smiled a little bit. Yeah. You don't agree with that?
No, it's not about agree. I don't trust Russians, and they don't want. This.
You know what this sounds like?
What?
This sounds like Putin is running for president of Ukraine. against Zelensky. That's what this sounds like. He wants what's best. I honestly, I believe a certain part of Putin actually believes this. I mean, I don't know the guy. I don't have lunch with him. But why else, other than maybe to open up some shipping lanes that they already have to the sea, would they risk 600,000 Russian lives?
Bro, I mean, let's be
Why
real.
else would they do this? There is a reason politically why they're doing this.
True. But here's the thing, though. Also, I mean, let's be real. They have hypersonic missiles that they could have been firing at these guys.
Yes.
But let's be real. Like, Putin came out a while ago and said, look, we went easy on Ukraine. But he also threatened Russia. I mean, not Russia, but Europe in the same breath, saying that, yeah, but we won't go so easy on Russia. So he pretty much saying, look, we're slow rolling Ukraine. We're not hitting them with everything we got. But if we were to get into Europe, we are definitely going to hit them with everything we got. So it kind of shows you, like, these guys could have nuked them, bombard them with hypersonic missiles years ago.
They wouldn't even have to nuke them. They could just fucking detonate a nuke in space and fucking cripple their fucking electronic capability. Their soldiers would stop dying from FPV drone attacks, and they would just walk through the fucking city. They could, if they wanted to, do whatever the fuck they wanted to with this piece of land.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if Putin really didn't give a fuck about Ukraine, I mean, yeah, he could have laid waste to it a long time, and we wouldn't have done anything about it. Yes, Putin could have nuked Ukraine, and we'd have just sat there like, well, whoops. Well, I guess we shouldn't have forced that.
We would have condemned them, and McDonald's would have pulled out of Russia again.
Yep. All right.
Hey, real quick. So, Russia's their main goal. Well, they want a warm water port. That's one thing that they're missing. They have, because the North Sea is frozen over most of the year, so they're trying to get there.
They have cutters. They can get through the North Sea. That's an old theoretical argument that does not hold weight. They have been geographically in Russia for as long as Russia's existed and have ported many different things.
I mean, that's one of the main reasons we want Greenland is for Arctic dominance, because Russia has Arctic dominance right now. Well, them and China, but if we're talking about number one, it would be Russia.
Maybe if they wanted to be able to covertly move around the globe without breaking ice, maybe that might be one reason why they'd want a warm water port. I'm not completely discounting it, but I'm saying that that's not a reason that they're willing to go to war over.
I'll give Link they would get that by taking Odessa as getting that port.
Yeah, they would, which would not be good for us, for the record.
Yeah, so I'm saying that's something that Putin's always wanted, that this war allows him to get access to. But the main reason why the war happened, right, was because of the revolution that happened there that Zelensky's in power, where because Ukraine was a Russian puppet state after his entire history since it started, since the break of it, right?
Puppet state.
It was going that way.
Let's think about this. Let's think about this objectively, Link. Let's think about this objectively. So
you don't even know my argument.
Hold on. What is your argument? Go ahead. What's your argument?
I'm good. No. Let's hear Monty's explanation of my argument, please.
Well, I'm not explaining your argument. I'm pointing out
because you don't know my argument.
I don't care what your argument is. It's you've made no good argument since you've been on. But I was going to say what.
All right, see you guys. I'm done tonight.
All right. Have a good one, dog.
So Russia had a puppet state in Ukraine. Didn't bother anything. A revolution happens. Zelensky gets installed. A revolution started by the American CIA, for the record. Russia gets involved because they see the Western world and NATO fucking basically on their front doorstep. What did we do? We were willing to go to war because Russia put fucking missiles in Cuba.
I mean, and let's just keep it real. Like, Monty, you was hitting definitely with the whole color revolution. We set off a color revolution because we didn't like the fact that the Ukrainian leader at that time was pro-Russian, and he wanted to stay out of NATO because he didn't want to anger Putin, because he knew that if he went into NATO, Putin was going to attack. And for some reason, that's considered a pro-Russian leader. So it's not like he just bent over backwards for Putin. He just knew that Putin would attack if Ukraine tried to go into NATO.
And then
United States set off go ahead. You got it.
Anybody that fought against that idea and said, "Oh no, we want a pro-Ukraine thing," we went and supported them and basically slaughtered any opposition to it to get Zelensky installed. And there were like 2 years before this invasion, CNN was reporting on like extremist ideologies and white supremacists and everything else that were taking hold in Ukraine. Same thing Russia pointed out, and suddenly it's an unprovoked war, and we can't figure out why it happened.
And shout out to Jet. He says, IDK, if Putin's gonna go easy now if he attacks his crib. So now since they attacked his crib. Like allegedly, because Zelensky actually said, of course, Zelensky said, no, that wasn't us. But apparently one of Putin's residence was attacked. And this will be the second time they try to assassinate Putin. Because they tried to assassinate him when he left the prison exchange. When he left the prison exchange, he left on a helicopter. They literally tried to shoot that man down mid-flight on the way back to Russia. And now they attacked his residence. Both times, the first time they did that to Putin in the helicopter, the man unleashed a swarm of drones. God knows what he's going to do. Actually, this is exactly what he did. He told his army to keep pushing forward.
My God. And all of this really doesn't, it does not affect us. It's not our war to be fighting. It's not even our conversation to be having, honestly, about the politics of the situation. But this is what you have to understand before you just, go put a Ukrainian flag in your Facebook fucking picture. You don't understand what is going on, and all you see is a democratic narrative. Like I said, most of these people can't even point to Ukraine on a map. You just hear the narrative. Oh, there's Russia, bad guy. Oh, Trump colluded with Russia, so that's Trump agenda, right? Russia likes Trump, so we like Ukraine. That's their line of thinking.
Good point. But all right, let's go ahead and get back to our guy Zelensky.
A little bit. Yeah. You don't agree with that?
No, it's not about agree. I don't trust Russians, and they don't want. This. I don't trust Putin, and he doesn't want success for Ukraine, really. He doesn't want. He can say it. I believe that he can say such words to President Trump. I believe in it, that he can say it, but it's not truth, really. He doesn't want to have from President Trump more pressure with sanctions and etc. And he can say that I want success for Ukraine, and I'm ready to give them cheap electricity. Really, between us, we don't need cheap, this energy because we paid so great, this price, our lives. It's not about energy. We don't need anything from them. That's why I think its message is for President Trump, yes, to find a way how to communicate with him.
Yeah, the question was about helping with reconstruction after the war, and that Russia wants to help. And
they have to give us money.
Yeah.
They can give us
he's going to shake down Russia now?
Money for this.
What? He said they have to give us money. Now I can see why Putin pretty much said, no, you're not going to get our... Bro, because in the peace deal, the first draft, they were pretty much trying to say that, you could use at least like $100 billion, help out Ukraine, help them rebuild. Then Ukraine switched around like, nah, we want $200 billion. And now the Russians are like, bro, if you don't get y'all asses up out of here,
Ukraine is like that one friend you have that gets drunk at a bar and goes and tries to pick the biggest fight they can and swings and misses and then yells, "You're lucky he's holding me back," and points at you.
It's just like, bro, do you hear yourself? Like, they have to give us money. Bro, you didn't have to get into this war. You didn't have to do this. If anything, NATO should be the one giving you this money. If anything, NATO, they're the ones who got you into this. Not us, not Russia, but NATO. Let them do it. They deserve it. They deserve that bill.
We will rebuild everything what we need to rebuild, and we will decide what to do.
President Trump and Steve Witkoff, his envoy, sometimes say Ukraine is losing the war, and then sometimes they say Ukraine can't win. You don't agree with that?
Yes, I can explain. It's understandable that when Russia is occupying about 3,000 kilometers per year, these last 2 years. It's understandable that it looks that we are not winning, but it's not real fact, because the price of these 3,000 kilometers for this year, the price was 400,000 people, Russian soldiers. Now,
it was?
Russia loses 31,000 soldiers killed per month. I'm not speaking about wounded. 31. It's a real fact because of the drones. We have now video confirmations of all these killed people. If you look at the people, they are losing. If you look at the kilometers, they're winning.
Do you think you could win or end this war on your...
Did he really just say that? Hold on,
I
man.
guess
gotta
he
hear
did.
that. I gotta hear that one again.
Killed per month. I'm not speaking about people, Russian soldiers. Now, Russia loses 31,000 soldiers killed per month. I'm not speaking about wounded. 31. It's a real fact because of the drones. We have now video confirmations.
He's got kill cams on them all?
Killed people.
Oh yeah, he does.
If you look,
yeah, I've seen a couple of them, like they fly drones around, they got the camera on them, and they fly them right into the soldiers, and they like freeze frame it. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, they've caught some guys smiling before death, like, you got me. So, yeah, no, they got that right there as well, and so did the Russians, and the Russians got it as well. Like, they had a video of them tearing them out of a truck and executing them. So there's all types of gruesome videos you can find on both sides. So it's kind of funny how he's bragging about 31,000, but I mean,
meanwhile, he's losing 62.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though. It's like, bro, you're losing land. So you're telling me if you're killing 31,000 a month, obviously that isn't enough to get your land back. Oh, and let's not forget who has a bigger army.
You're losing land, you're losing more people, and you're losing favorability with the United States.
And I mean,
the only people he's winning any favorability with are people like Link that can't even take a little bit of introspection and be like, yeah, maybe the Democrats' foreign policy on this kind of fucked us, and now we're just in this war that we don't want to be in. There's no reason for it to have happened.
And he pretty much just says so. And like I said, this war been going on for like 2-3 years now.
Yeah. It started in 2022. We're going on 2026 now.
Oh man! All right, so
almost 4 years.
31,000. Okay, so that's where he had to make it make sense. So, if according to his numbers, then that'd be 1.1 million. That'd be 1.1 million Russians dead, according to his number. Yeah, I don't believe that either. I mean, like, bro, if you had that many, then why are you losing land? And if that's the case, and if that's true, then that means that Russia's army is just that big to where you could take out 1 million people and they're still whooping your ass. Because let's not play. Russia's army is about 2 million strong and about 900,000 in reserves. If you only killed 1 million, then I'm sorry, but they're still got their main army still.
That means they can wage war for another year,
basically, while you guys are dwindling in numbers and pulling people off the street. And how big is the Ukrainian army? Not that big, guys.
Zero.
It is not that big.
Zero. It's fucking tiny. And god damn, it really sucks. Like I find myself thinking of this as, just one big freaking war game, and it's not. This is people's lives, and this is how it's being looked at. It's the numbers don't work out for Ukraine. The numbers are people's lives. The numbers are people's homes being destroyed. This could end. And I honestly believe the way you end it is you stop funding them. You stop giving them support for a futile war, which is just going to decrease relations with one of our biggest adversaries that never even should have been our adversary to begin with.
I mean, and their army is about 900,000 to 1 million personnel in active service and reserves combined. That's combined. Bro, we're talking about Russia probably almost has 3 million soldiers, and that is combined active service and reserves. I mean, come on now.
The people, they are losing. If you look at the kilometers, they're winning.
Do you think...
Hey, man, this ain't Russia propaganda. I'm just giving y'all the numbers that you don't want to accept. And let's be real. Like I said, if Zelensky really killed 1.1 million people, How is he losing land still?
Exactly.
Why is the peace plan not weighted in his favor? I mean, that peace plan don't read like he killed 1 million people. To be honest with you, the peace plan reads like Putin been the one killing millions of people. But I mean, hey, if you don't want to use common sense, you want to sit here and say, "Oh, that's because Trump is selling out Zelensky." No, that's because Zelensky's losing on the battlefield, and that means Putin has all the leverage. That why Putin gets to decide if they go into NATO, what's the size that are going to be of their army, and of course the regions that he's going to get.
This can end one of two ways. It can end with Zelensky getting a peace deal or Zelensky surrendering. That's how this is going to end.
Yeah, let's be real. Like, this is not Russian propaganda. We don't support Putin. No. The problem is that Putin is winning. We're not going to sit here and lie to you because we don't like Putin.
Yeah, it would do a bigger disservice to Ukraine to keep filling their heads full of propaganda and letting their husbands and wives and sons die. That's the people dying should be the issue, not they what they think is this is some 2000s Airbud fucking comeback story that Ukraine is going to suddenly just come up through and whoop Russia's ass, and we haven't been seeing that.
Oh, and hold on, I have to grill this guy. He says, "Cool ViewBot, brother, bro. You're a dumbass. You don't even know how ViewBots work. Do you know how ViewBots work? You pretty much have the same number of viewers no matter what. It don't fluctuate whatsoever. That's how you know somebody got ViewBots, you dumbass. So learn a little bit before you talk." All right.
Said you had a ViewBot?
Yeah. No, like, bro, like, you know how streamers been using ViewBots and all that, and this is how you know somebody has a ViewBot, because I've caught somebody for using a ViewBot, and they'll have like 1.5 thousand views, and it just stays like that the entire time, no fluctuation, no nothing, and that's impossible. That's just impossible. Like,
you're going to lose retention, and you're going to gain viewers.
You lose retention eventually. There's no way you just maintain that 1.5. Like, hey, and like either it goes up, it changes a little bit, goes up, or it changes a little bit and go down. You just don't maintain the same number throughout the stream.
They
don't know that.
Let me ask you something real quick. Your stream's been on for 1 hour and 46. Look at your analytics and tell me what your average viewer watch time is.
Shoot, right now? Only about 34 seconds. It goes up and down.
Yeah, exactly. So if he had a ViewBot, it would be about 1 hour and 45 minutes. That
literally, bro. I'd be at like maybe 20 minutes of an average viewership.
Oh my god.
But, yeah, like
it is what it is.
Yeah.
They are losing. If you look at the kilometers, they're winning.
Do you think you could win or end this war on your terms if the U.S. withdraws support? If they get frustrated in this process and you can't get it across the finish line, can you end this?
If we're speaking, can we win without American support? No. Because we can't trust.
Can we win without American support? No.
No.
Man, that should tell you a lot. I mean, if you can't even support yourself during a war that you're not even winning, I mean, that's tough.
That's an oxymoron. Set. Of course, they can't support themselves in a war they're not winning.
I know, literally.
They would be winning if they could support themselves.
I mean, honestly, even if they support themselves, they wouldn't be winning. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. They don't have any like actual standing army. They don't have an armed populace. They don't have any military training. They they have 3D printers that can make FPV drones that can, they're effective.
Yeah,
but that
they
is
great drones.
That is where their edge kind of goes away. They're getting a crash course in, combat, and the longer the war goes on, the more they should learn and become a smarter army. But it just...
Here's the thing. They can't even take back land. So it's just like, all right, so we're basically, with our support, you can just stay in the fight, but not gain anything out of this fight. You'll lose soldiers, but you won't gain back land. Like, Lord knows that. So what are we really doing this for?
I don't know.
If you're not going to win back land, what are you doing it for? Like,
what was it? Was it Sid or Cool Beans that said, let's just go bomb Moscow?
Bro, that was Sid, bro. Sid was like, yeah, man, we should fuck that. We should just go bomb. I was like, bro, sound like a male version of Hillary Clinton for a second there. I'm like, you really want war with Russia?
Yeah, they absolutely want war with Russia. And it's fucking hilarious how much they want war with Russia, but we're every war in history, they tend to be the party that's like, oh no, we're anti-war, love and peace, baby.
I mean, here's the thing, though. You know, it's so funny, and this is what I learned about on the global streets. You know, you're a dictator if you don't got nukes, but if you do, you're a president.
You're a president.
So
I've heard that one before.
You better respect President Putin. I mean, the man got nukes. Hey, man, once you got nukes, you ain't a dictator no more. Apparently, you a president or prime minister.
I mean,
But and here's the thing, you're right. He does run it like a dictatorship. I mean, trust me, I wouldn't trust
not a
Putin
good
near
guy.
window. He's not. But guess what? He's winning this war. Like it or not, the supervillain is winning the war because why? Well, bigger country. I mean, military tech is better, hypersonic missiles, all that good stuff. What does Ukraine got? Not much. I mean, they really don't. They don't got the army size. They don't got the military tech, and they barely have foreign support. Barely. Like we're all trying to turn away from it. Well, except for Europe.
You know the Democrats' ideology. Just back whatever the loser is,
bro. Yeah, they always stand up for the little guy.
Ukraine. They don't stand up for the little guy. They try to broadcast that they stand up for the little guy, but all they're trying to do is gain votes. That's all it is. By people that don't know any better and think, oh, this big bully Russia, because they watch Miracle on Ice.
Man, we will think about all the soldiers will think only about their families, and without American support, we can't defend the sky. Even now, it's very difficult, but American support with missiles for air defense really helpful. And
you want an F-35 while you're at it, bud?
Russia uses hundreds. You see hundreds and thousands of drones and missiles, so it's difficult. You know, it's not enough air defense. And on the battlefield, we use some weapon which we buy from.
So they don't have enough air defense, but you guys think they're winning. Bro's literally snitching. He's literally snitching on himself. He's like, we need America to win. We don't have enough for air defense, but somehow we're winning this war, though, guys. I mean, we can't really defend ourselves in the air. We don't want to give them Tomahawk missiles to shoot down $40 drones, so that's out the question. So please tell me, how is Ukraine winning again? Because Putin, I mean, my man Zelensky pretty much damn near telling y'all what the deal is.
Hey, and for the record, everybody that has the let's go fuck Russia up idea, why didn't Biden do that? If that was such a great idea, your Lord and Savior couldn't even do it. Maybe because it would be fucking suicide.
It'd be World War III on the spot.
American, some rounds, artillery, and etc. from Americans. Without it, of course, we can't win.
So just take us behind the scenes in this meeting. Was the meeting with President Trump about you trying to convince him of your pathway to peace, or him trying to convince you of his?
Who can convince him? We can have only dialogue. And I think this is good that we have very open dialogue. And we know each other from the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now.
I mean, your relationship has evolved.
Yeah.
And you still don't. You still don't have.
You're losing them.
Actually, you have less cards than you had then. Actually, I mean,
bro, we need to get him off the card table. He's a fucking addicted gambler.
I mean, literally, like, bro, somebody pull him, take him out the casino, bro. He's cooked. He's cooked, man. He's not leaving, and he's losing more money, aka more land.
Bro, he's about to put it all on red. Calm down, guys,
and lose the whole Ukraine.
It's true. We know as each other, and so we are not convincing each other. It's about. I think it's more difficult than convince two presidents each other. It's because it's about people, it's about nation. You need really recognize the will of people, and you need to respect it.
The security guarantee.
Set.
Do you need...
So to all the fucking people in the chat that are like, oh yeah, Team Putin, all that fun shit, you can go fuck yourself too. This is not This is not a glazing of fucking Russia and glazing of Putin. This is an understanding of the facts. I don't know if Set agrees with me, but I completely despise what Russia has done.
All glory to Mother Russia. Okay, I'm playing. But I'm playing. No. Like, Putin is the bad guy. Putin is the one who started.
Is absolutely the bad guy.
Okay, well,
I mean,
that's debatable if Putin started the war. I like to say NATO did.
He has his reasons for starting the war. It's not an unprovoked war, so to say, but those reasons do not align with our values, if that makes sense. Like,
and somebody says, "Oh, you were laughing at Zelensky?" Yes, we're laughing at Zelensky because for 2 years we was being told this man is winning, and here he is on Fox News with his tails between his legs. I'm sorry, that's funny. That's absolutely freaking hilarious to me.
It should have never fucking happened. This is Biden's fault. This is, I mean, we can sit here and point fingers all day long, but the fact is the guy's old and dying now, so we can't do anything about what he caused. But we're damn sure not going to make it worse.
Hold on, hey, yo, Galactic. Wait, Galactic's here. Yo, Galactic. Wait, you have time to come on up? Because I know Galactic probably has a pretty good argument. I know Galactic ain't probably feeling what we're talking about. But yeah, the link is in the post tab, Galactic. It's already posted.
Hopefully it's better than Link's
Congress to vote on that so that it is long-term beyond this president?
We respect President Trump, and his decision is powerful, but of course we need Congress for this, maybe Senate or Congress, I don't know.
Ratify it.
Yeah. So, of course, we legally binding want to have these security guarantees. Today, we spoke with the president, and there is a proposition. The first proposition is security guarantees for 15 years. It's a good proposition with possibility of continuation. But we spoke with President, and I was very open with him that, Mr. President, I said, look, we have now the war, which is almost 15 years. We respect this proposition, but maybe we can make more. And he said he will work on it. And I hope that it can be more years and with Congress.
So is it a NATO-like security guarantee,
yes,
but not NATO?
Yeah, it's not NATO. Of course, it's bilateral security guarantees, Ukraine-America document. And but it's NATO mirror. Yes, NATO-like.
So this is pretty much what he's talking about. And I'll be real with you. We are willing to give them NATO-like protection only if they abide by the peace deal. So they're not allowed to attack Russia at all, or they lose the protection. They're not allowed to join NATO, or they lose the protection. And then, well, that's pretty much it, actually. So it's pretty much our protection, but with conditions. And then we're going to give Russia everything they want, pretty much. We're going to let them back into the G8, let them back into the global economy, lift the sanctions. And, hopefully that works out. And that's pretty much what we're going for with that one. Now, what does Russia give up? Nothing really. But if they do attack Ukraine with this peace deal, then they do lose all that. They'll get kicked out of the G8. The sanctions will come back down on them and will no longer recognize the territory that they took. Will that stop them from attacking in the future? Only time will tell, but most likely.
And how would you define an attack that would say Russia was in violation? So is it a ground invasion or a cyber attack or drones?
Yeah, now we work on it. It's really almost 100% done. And it's understandable in the document, which is good. The first time in our history.
It's clear.
It's clear. This is very important. They work on it to be more clear. We can respect the security guarantees because it will be clear for the people, and not only for people, citizens, also for business, for investments, for everybody, because you can't just, this risk and don't know when Russians will come, what will be, who will defend.
People are tired in Ukraine, right? They're very resilient. They've been fighting all this time.
Yes, sir.
But they're tired. Are they ready for a deal?
People want peace. Today, President Trump said, I saw the polls that 85%, maybe 87%, he said first, want peace, so they agree. I said, yeah, this is our life. 87% support peace. At the same time, 85% against to withdraw from East, from the Donbass. It's meant that everybody wants peace, but just peace.
But that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Is the territory.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
So how do you get to yes?
All the parties have to understand that the worst way is to go out from the Donbass. It will be big risks for Ukraine, not acceptable by Ukrainians, but they will, just personally. And referendum will not be positive. Of course, referendum is, if we will go to referendum, is very important. But if we are not stupid,
I mean, yeah, it won't be positive for you, but that's the problem though. This war hasn't been positive for you already. Like, I do get that there will be repercussions down the line that's going to hit you guys, but it ain't going to hurt Russia. So I'm pretty sure Russia is not going to care too much about the repercussions of you guys having to give up land. You guys are going to have to figure that out with your people and your parliament. And well, Russia, they're just waiting on you guys to concede. So we'll see what happens with that. But as we were listening to yesterday with one of the Ukrainian parliament members, it doesn't look like they want to do it actually at all. So it does look like Putin is going to be forced to take more land until these guys finally cry uncle. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be 20, go to 40, and then these guys will, be like, all right. All right, now we'll sign. Now we'll agree to land concession. Now we'll change our constitution.
Hey, Set. Someone's trying to get into the stream.
Link.
No. Someone asked where the StreamYard link is.
Oh, it's in
It's in the post tab, right?
Yeah, it's in the post tab. It's in the post tab on the main page, or you can go on the horizontal live and scroll up, and you'll also see it in there as well. Well, it's two ways to get to it, but I'll just go on the main page, hit the post tab. It'll be right there for you.
Yeah. So if you're still here, Embrace Madness.
Yep, that's Galactic. But all right, Link. So you came back.
Yeah. So real quick, I just Monty, if it's all right with you, I just want to have. I don't want to be adversarial. I'm not trying to have a debate. I just want to have a good faith back and forth conversation where we go. I give an argument, you give a response, I give my counter, just kind of that thing. Is that okay with you, or is that not something you guys want to do? I don't really. It's your set.
Oh, absolutely.
We can dedicate a good little 5-10 minutes to it. Why not?
Yeah. So just so you said you hope my argument, my argument was stupid or whatever. So it's all right if I just give you my argument, and then let me give my whole thing. It's 2 points, and then we give you a response to that. So my argument was that the Russia invasion happened because, as a minor objective, Russia has always wanted a warm water port that they control. And then the second point, the main overall reason that they invaded was because of the revolution that happened there, that made that Russia lost control, that they used to have a puppet ruler, the puppet control that Russia took over. So what part, what do you disagree with that?
So I don't disagree with either point. I don't, but I don't put a whole lot of weight on either point, except for the revolutionary argument. Simply because remember who funded that revolutionary? Like, we sent CIA to fund a color revolution and support white supremacists white nationalists in Ukraine that led to Zelensky becoming a big proponent, and eventually became the prime minister or the president of Ukraine. And as soon as he got in power, he started talking about joining NATO. And that's why we did that. If this would have worked out, I would have given credit to Obama for, bringing a stronger NATO alliance and surrounding Russia. However, that's not what happened. We got our hands caught in the cookie jar. Zelensky, won, but at what cost? Now they're in a war that nothing proliferated. I can't say that word right. but nothing, got any worse between 2014, them invading, and 2022, because we had a different president that wasn't willing to let that shit happen. And so the reason, the issue that I have with everybody's stance, so to say, on the Ukraine war is that it's somehow just this unprovoked thing where Russia just had no reason to do it and went in and did it. I don't agree with Russia's reasonings for doing it, but I acknowledge that they are legitimate reasons for doing it as a country, as like their sovereignty and what they see, what they stand for. So with that being said, you can't control Putin. He's not a puppet dictator. He is a dictator with nukes. He's a president, like S.E.T said. So we don't want that to happen. And it would have been great if the CIA would have been successful and Russia would have just been like, oh well, I guess that sucks. But no, we pushed him into a corner, so to say, and now he's going to take that opportunity, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. I disagree that it's right, but he's going to take that opportunity and has done so over the past 4 years to just go and fucking steamroll it. So if we hadn't interceded with Russia or, got in their business, one, this wouldn't be happening. So I go back and I look, well, who fucking pulled that trigger? That was Obama. Who tried to maintain, talks with Russia, and I get all that, and, that went back and forth. He failed as a leader to represent our needs and our goals. So now we're stuck with this situation, and I don't see like how, trying to put a reason to why Russia's doing this as really relevant to the argument of what should be done next. Russia is going to get what they want because they've been allowed to move in this way and have been provoked certain points down the road. So the question is, do we keep funding a losing war and degrade relations even more, or do we say, you know what, enough is enough, this sucks, we don't want this to happen, and then start actually trying to make good faith efforts to bring Russia in as an ally? Which option sounds better to you? Which option sounds like less people are going to die to you? And that's where my opinion's formed. That's all that is. As I said earlier, I'm not the president. None of these decisions are going to be made with any input from me or you. But like you said, we're having a conversation about it. That's the only positive thing that I can see. This isn't like I said, it's not going to be a comeback story. This is not going to be anything good for Ukraine, but it can be even worse. And I don't want it to be worse for Ukraine.
All right, any responses? Well, anyway, oh shoot, Merry Christmas. Hey, shout out Galactic, appreciate that. He says Merry Christmas set. And Galactic, well, you have any thoughts on this if you're in here? Well, you are in.
Yeah, I do. Just 1 sec though. I'll be back in 5.
All right, no problem. Link, you got a response to what Monty's saying?
So there was a lot there. If it's all right with you, if there's any way that we could just go like 1 or 2 things and just kind of rattle those. I wrote down stuff, but my main response, if it's all right with you, I'd like to ask a question that I kind of asked earlier is what should Obama and or Biden done that they didn't do? Like what actions should they have taken that they didn't take?
Do you want to just go back and forth now?
Yeah, if you could just give me like 1 or 2 examples, and then we can debate if those are good.
Okay. So the first example that I would point out would be maybe we shouldn't have funded a color revolution in Russia, or sorry, in Ukraine. Maybe we should have just left the world stable as it was.
Okay, but we didn't. Okay, sorry.
We did. We absolutely did, and that's on paper that we did that. And then, so the second point, so we've done that. We've already fucking shit the bed on that situation. We could have, went to Putin and said, hey, we could have put a moratorium on Ukraine joining NATO and said, that's not going to happen. And we could have assured Russia, because again, you have to play ball with presidents. You don't have to play ball with dictators. We could have been like, hey, this isn't going to happen. Ukraine is going to be sovereign. It's not going to be under your control. We can't control what happened, 10, 20 years ago. But those could have been, first steps in that little play. But instead, what happened is the exact opposite of both of those situations. And we can argue back and forth on whether that would have led to this result. I still think that maybe Russia would have tried to flex its muscles a little bit, but I don't think it would. I think they would have been kept in line. Because I don't see Russia as like, this nice little golden retriever walking out. I see it as a fucking bully and as an aggressive pit bull that you have to control.
And all right, last response, and then we'll move on to the next video.
I mean, don't you think it's better that don't you think that it's worth putting the pressure on Russia and keep on putting the soldiers through the meat grinder, man, because eventually it'll have an impact on society, and it will give the people a reason to rise up against the tyrant, man.
Damn.
Okay, so hold on.
Talk about a sacrificial lamb.
Whose people? Are you volunteering your son?
No.
Are you volunteering yourself? Nope. So don't say that. That's completely. I mean, I get what you're saying. Fighting for freedom.
So you just think capitulate and let the invader win. No worries.
We did that already. That's why we're in this position, because we capitulated, because we didn't have a strong stance on that. But now we're in a position again. The fucking pit bull is off the leash, running around fucking mauling people. So
the pit bull has
the bully
had. Yeah, what's happened to all of the political opponents in Russia?
What's happened to all the political opponents in North Korea? So should we fund? No, because this idealistic view that you have on the United States' dime does not work for me, because it's going to be me
Answer the question.
Going over there.
Answer the question. What's happened to all of the political opponents in Russia?
They're getting executed. I never said Russia's a good guy. Putin's a good guy. I disagree.
So I think like some of the way you talk though, Monty, about the war and how you're like dead set against Ukraine,
I'm not dead set against Ukraine.
Goes well the way you talk about it, and so.
Do you think other people don't? Do you think people who are defending Ukraine are saying we want people to die? That's not a good faith response. That's not a good faith argument.
No, that's not a bad faith argument. What is going?
How is that? You think people want? You think? Oh my God, that's okay.
What is going to happen?
Imagine if you lived in Poland. And it's only like 70, 80 years ago since the end of World War II, and you're seeing another European power invade another one.
Who was the biggest ally against the Germans in Eastern Europe?
We already know that. We already know that answer. Yeah. So what?
So what? So that just means nothing. Poland should.
So that excuses. That excuses Russia invading another country.
You talked about a country invading another country. Yeah, we had that happen. It was World War II. And who came to be on the right side of history during World War II?
Well, to be quite honest, guys, if I could just give my opinion real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the next video about this whole little threat on Putin's life. But because don't worry, we're gonna keep on this topic, so we're gonna come back to it. But if I can give my opinion on the matter, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I mean, you guys are being a bit delusional about this whole let's keep pressure on Russia. We already did. We got sanctions on them already. They're already doing it. Now they're buying their
and
oil
we're giving them weapons. They're still
we're giving them weapons. Like the next step is World War III. And I don't think we want that. Well, I personally don't want that. And that's the only reason why we won't get into it with Russia. So when you guys say, "Oh, we're just going to let the invading side win?" Well, sadly, yes, because like the not letting them win is World War III. And if we can't get Ukraine to a win, then it is what it is.
I agree. So Galactic, on a moral level, I agree with you. On a logical, looking at the world the way it is, I don't think that's a good idea. And the reason I say that is because we have evidence of the idea that you're pushing. We have 4 years of proof of that doesn't work.
Yeah, but what's going to happen when Putin dies?
Maybe when Putin dies, maybe fucking Zelensky should have been a little bit more accurate when he tried to assassinate him.
We don't know that.
I want Putin to die. Trust me, I want Putin to be overthrown. I want the Russian government, as it stands, to fall. I do.
Know. The only reason I don't know about that is because, Putin goes and then we get somebody like twice as bad.
Yeah,
that's usually how our luck works out.
That's how it. Yeah, we're not very good at nation building.
And Zelensky's actually denied the attack on the.
Of course he did. Who did it? Well. Who did it then?
Who knows? Who knows if it even happened? Maybe it was Russia. Yes. Maybe it was Putin himself. Maybe it's a false flag. We don't know.
I mean.
Well, shoot. All right, guys. Well, let's get into the video. And let's see what they're saying.
And see, this is the thing, and you're going to defend it.
Defend what? There's nothing to defend. I'm not going to defend Putin. No, I'm going to say that where the chips lie on the table right now, you don't keep doubling down and going all in when you're losing. When you don't have you don't have the cards.
Hey, anybody remember who gave weapons to Ukraine first?
Who gave weapons to Ukraine first?
Yeah, which president?
I don't know. Who gave
Trump?
Who gave weapons? Trump did.
That was a big.
Yeah, he gave him javelins, and Obama gave him blankets or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That was that's another thing that we were wrong about earlier. But you were wrong about earlier about Trump was isolated, didn't do anything, the war wasn't happening, all that kind of stuff. Trump was the one that gave them weapons that escalated our commitment to them.
That escalated it. And then why didn't Putin invade? When he did.
It escalated our what we did, because before that Obama didn't give weapons, that was a big criticism that Trump attacked Obama with, was that Obama didn't give them weapons. I'm just being facts. I'm just trying to make sure that people know facts.
Well, I never capitulated who gave who weapons first. I said that Obama did.
No, you said Trump was isolated, didn't do anything with it, and that the fighting wasn't happening.
No. Well,
the fighting did not get worse under President Trump.
He said the problem didn't progress.
So then why did Trump need to send them weapons if it wasn't getting worse?
Out of a gesture of goodwill?
Oh, come on now.
Be quite honest with you, because think about it. When did Putin attack? When did Putin attack? Because I'm being real with you.
Oh, come on. I'm right. So I'm being factual. Thank you.
No, you're not.
Thank you, guys.
Trump victory lap, and you're not. You're absolutely fucking
100%. Trump was the one who gave them weapons.
So we know Trump gave them the weapons, but you cannot verify that it was for Russia.
What do you mean? Wait, what?
Trump gave them weapons. But it was for the strategic reason to fight Russia.
Yes, because
Russia did not invade until 2022.
Why did Russia?
No, they invaded the Crimea during Obama's term.
But that doesn't involve Trump then.
That's what
that's before.
Time out.
I know you're kerfuffle. So
I'm not. You are. No, you are. That was the argument to start with.
Are you just gonna out yell us? Or just because you yell louder doesn't mean you're right.
Okay. So wait, no, but you guys are the ones that are kerfuffle. Remember?
No, we're not.
Obama gave them blankets. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Obama gave them blankets, right? Trump gave them bombs. That was the argument.
Are you running for office on Obama's behalf now? Now, can I fucking respond, or are you just going to keep trying to take a victory lap when you're fucking in last place?
That is factual.
Language Monty.
That is factual.
It doesn't matter what is fact. Like, that doesn't matter. That is irrelevant to the point. Are you going to stop and let me talk, or are you just going to keep fucking trying to go on?
How about we all stop talking and watch a video?
Yeah, let's see. Let's
No,
go ahead and watch the
he did-
video.
Trump.
Thank you.
Why is it that nothing
Monty,
happened
no.
under Trump?
No, man.
No, answer the question. Because you don't have an answer for that other than Trump gave them bombs. Who started the color revolution? Who started the whole fucking conflict?
Oh my god.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Seth. Let's go watch the video.
And
Oh,
all
yeah, I
right,
bet
Monty.
you are.
All right, Monty. They don't want it. They'll wait until next
They don't
round.
want
They'll wait until
they
next
don't want
round.
to defend any of their points. They just want to fucking
No, we
grandstand
just
and
want
say,
to watch
oh,
the video and make it better for the.
Yeah,
I want to respect the host.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
But all right,
what's going on
guys.
here.
So shout out to my man Jet. He says Link got TDS. Trump escalated it, but NATO didn't. I mean, that's actually a good point.
It's fucking hilarious. Like you can't take any time to fucking consider any point that I'm making, but you want to fucking act like you're slam dunking something. You're really proud of that too. You didn't even know that, but you're real proud of that, aren't you?
So Ukraine. My last point, right? Just in regards to the timeline, Monty. Ukraine changed their constitution in 2019, and they wanted to become EU members and maybe members of NATO, right? 2019. Who was in power then?
What does that is Trump fucking Zelensky now? So
I'm just saying. If Trump had any influence on it, he would have tried to stop that then.
And he did. He literally
didn't. They amended their constitution, man.
Oh, so what happens anywhere in the world is Trump's fault, right?
I'm not saying that at all, but just you've previously mentioned other presidents and
because
influence.
they directly put U.S. forces and U.S. strength behind a losing team to try to get control over another superpower. It failed. It blew up in their face, and now it has been escalating since then.
No.
And then when you fucking you don't even
I think it's called the Minsk Agreement. When Ukraine gave up their nukes, they signed an agreement with the USA that the US would defend them should they ever be attacked. And lo and behold, boom, they're in the situation. If they had never given up their nukes, do you reckon they would be attacked?
Now, that's actually a good point. But here's the thing, though. Who would have knew these guys were going to get into it with Russia? We didn't expect them to get into it with a nuclear power. If they'd have wrote that on there, we probably wouldn't have signed it.
Obviously they did. Obviously they did. Otherwise, they wouldn't have written that agreement.
What year did that happen? What year did that happen?
That one.
What year did that happen?
I think it was 96 to 99, somewhere around there. It was after the fall of the USSR. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's that got to do with it?
Who was president?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It only matters if Trump's president, right?
No, it doesn't at all. I'm just talking about the timeline, bro.
It means
agreements that are in place. Allies and, documents are signed, agreements are made. We're going to give up our nukes, but if we're attacked, the USA will help us. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Case closed.
And when did that happen?
And then he backed up Russia.
What year did that happen? It happened in 2014.
No. This was
2014.
Whenever they gave up their nukes a lot earlier than that. It was after the fall of the USSR.
Yeah, okay. So that makes sense then. It's before Russia became this nuclear superpower that we know today. So we didn't think these guys were going to get into it with them. Or we'd have definitely looked over that Minsk agreement like, hold on now.
I mean, they were still a superpower, but very much so. But
yeah, but
Ukraine
they were on the decline. Nobody really thought that Ukraine was going to get into it with a superpower. We'd have looked at them like they're crazy. Like, you think we're going to back you up and go into World War III because you gave up your nukes? I mean bro, that's the whole reason why you give up your nukes is to not have nuclear war. What the hell we look like getting into it because of you?
No, I mean, you look at countries that do have nukes, nobody's going to attack them.
So the common thread here is Democrats drop the ball every time there is a chance to fucking make Russia weaker.
Stop making it so partisan.
It is partisan because that's the fucking pattern.
No, it's not, bro.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No.
Russia tries to join NATO in '96. Clinton says, nah, fuck that. Russia fucking invades the Donbass in 2014. Obama says, oh well. Fucking in fact, what does Obama do? He tries to arm a fucking militia group of fucking Nazis to elect Zelensky. Zelensky gets in power. Nothing happens between Trump's term. Russia's fucking in check. They're not fucking willing to push the bounds. What happens when fucking Sleepy Joe gets in office? They fucking invade. And now it's all on fucking Trump to fucking clean it up, right?
Yeah, I know. Look, we fundamentally disagree on many things, Monty.
Well,
I think
are you even an American citizen?
you know I'm not. We've spoken before.
Okay, so why are you so concerned about our president and why doesn't Australia go give him some weapons? Why doesn't Australia
We
go?
do.
Yeah,
We have
so
been. We've been giving them. We give them armored personnel
where do you get them
carriers
from? Where do you get them
drone.
from? Where do you get them from?
We make our own. We make them.
Okay. Yeah,
Australia
so
pulls up for everybody. Let's be real.
Yeah, Australia is like joined at the hip. Australia is the only country that's gone to war with the US alongside the US since bloody Korea.
So when
we're your number one ally.
When are you going to send your son or yourself or your dad to go fight in this meat grinder that you said we should just go send people into to fight for freedom?
Look, if it happened, I would go. I'm about to move to Germany, so look, if worst comes to worst, I'd join the German armed forces
against Russia and go ahead and get fucking FPV bombed. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
why
at
not?
least he's standing on it. He's standing on it.
I am not willing to go fight a war in Europe because fucking Europe can't get their shit in order.
Well, man,
Europe can't get their shit in order. Russia invaded Ukraine. Get it through your head. They're the invading force.
Why didn't Europe stop Russia from invading?
They are.
It doesn't look like they're doing a very good job.
Hey, nobody's willing to put boots on the ground for Ukraine. That's all I got.
Ukraine's the new France.
Yeah, well,
can't even defend their own homeland.
The way you talk, it sounds like you're barracking for Russia.
No. So that's your argument is that you want to throw ad hominems at me? I've said several times that I'm not for Russia. I'm just not fucking pro-Ukraine and willing to fucking spill my blood or my countrymen's blood over a fucking shit that I didn't even fucking have a say in it happening.
Okay, how many US personnel have died? None.
That's what you just fucking proposed. Who's gonna go get sent to the meat grinder? Because Ukraine's almost out of fucking people.
No, they're doing all right.
They're doing all right. Their KD is 2-1, but yeah, they're doing all right. They're losing land left and right, but they're doing all right.
Yeah, no, but what do we know? We don't know anything about what's happened.
I know you can fucking get a satellite photo of the fucking destruction in fucking Ukraine and see where the Russian forces are at.
Yeah,
they're not fucking winning.
Who started it? Who started it? But like,
we did.
I mean, the thing
we
is,
did. Our fucking great fucking Barack Hussein Obama started it.
How?
We're just gonna go in circles now, Set, because
I'm asking like questions.
We started a color revolution to get a Russian puppet out of office and replace him with what we thought would be an American friendly puppet. That's all Ukraine is to either fucking one of these countries, and I'm so sick and tired of fucking. We're just playing a giant game of fucking Risk with the Ukrainian people.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Let's go ahead and get back to the video, and then we can bring you guys back in for another round.
Reports just into the Situation Room that Russia is accusing Ukraine of attacking one of President Vladimir Putin's residences overnight. It's a claim that the Ukrainian President Zelensky strongly denies. CNN senior international correspondent Fred Pleitgen is joining us right now. Fred, you've spent a lot of time reporting from Moscow. What do you make of this accusation?
Yeah, it came from the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Wolf, I would say about an hour, maybe a little bit more before or ago. And this was a press conference from Sergei Lavrov with some audio where he accused the Ukrainians of attacking a residence of Vladimir Putin in the Novgorod region, which is fairly close to Moscow. Now, the Russians are saying that 91 UAVs, drones, were used in this attack, that these drones were shot down, and that there are no reports of casualties. Now, the Russians, of course, irate about all of this. Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, Wolf, coming out and saying that the Russians are going to have to rethink their negotiating position, accusing the Ukrainians of terrorism. And the Ukrainians themselves, by the way, also very quick to react to all of this. In fact, Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, denying that the Ukrainians attacked this residence, claiming that the Russians are trying to stoke discord between the United States and Ukraine. Of course, right after that very important meeting took place between Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago yesterday. So the Ukrainians unequivocally saying that they did not attack Vladimir Putin's residence, whereas the Russians are saying that this did happen, that they are going to rethink their negotiating position vis-a-vis the Ukrainians and trying to end the conflict in Ukraine because of this attack, Wolf.
So are they any closer at all?
So it kind of sounds like Russia's might. Okay, to be honest with you, it worked out well for Russia because the more this war continues, the better it gets for Russia because they're just taking more land and all that good stuff. So they could, this could be a lie that they're using, that they're employing to pretty much say, oh, look, they're trying to attack me. Let's keep it going as they gain more land and then they get a better deal when they come around to the table next time.
That's one possibility, or maybe just the Zelensky's already done it once while they were in peace talks, and that was confirmed. So who are we to believe? The fucking the guy that's already done it, or the Russian liar? Like, I really don't fucking care, honestly. I want the fucking war over. Stop fucking funding Ukraine.
Yeah, but there is I would say this, there's benefit in the lie, and there's also, there's also benefit in just, I would say this, there's benefit in the lie and there's benefit in the truth. Because if they was to pull it off, I mean, shoot, I'm not going to say the war was over. Yeah, they took credit for it then for sure. But since it failed, now they got to hide their hands.
Because now
but
if
it was a lie, then this is a good lie to keep the war going so Putin can get more of what he wants.
Hey Monty, if the European forces bought American weaponry and then gave them to the Ukraine, would you have a problem with it?
That's already happening. I mean, I don't think we should supply, period, the fucking war in Ukraine, period. I don't think we should sell it to NATO. That's what's going to happen. Again, I don't get a say in this. I just get to watch this from my fucking TV screen and wait for the fucking draft letter to come in because people like you.
So you do have a problem. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. I have a problem, but I don't disrespect the sovereignty of the European Union and their fucking fight to stop Russia. Like I think if they want to do it, they should build their own weapons, maybe just that's a bigger conversation for later of how
Germany
is
doing that. Germany is doing that, and Germany Germany are making a lot of drones as well.
What's the last time Germany got up a big military? I don't really trust Germany too much.
Why? They've been an ally of the US since the end of World War II, with some of the biggest. Because with some of the biggest bases,
it's called sarcasm.
Ah, okay, sweet. Sorry, I missed that one.
that was genuinely sarcasm. I understand Germany's a fucking ally, but something about Germany amassing a giant army kind of scares me.
But all right, guys, I want to get your reaction to this video, so I'm about to play.
So you're not being sarcastic then, or you are being sarcastic?
I understand they don't have the political structure that they had when they did it the last time, but
yeah.
But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and then I'm gonna bring you guys in about halfway through it. Here you go. So, because this is gonna be a bit funny because Zelensky is far more liked by the American public than Trump or Putin. I'm just like, I bet. All right, guys, let's hear him out.
President Zelensky giving new details on a possible peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine after his critical 3-hour meeting with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Now we're standing by for a phone call between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin that the Kremlin says will happen, quote, very soon. CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton is tracking how Americans are feeling about all of what we are finding out. What can you tell us about how Americans see this whole debacle, if you will, this war and the negotiations that are happening between Trump, Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, I remember when Donald Trump was running for president a year ago, right? He said, I think it was over 50 times, our dear fact finder, Daniel Dale, found over 50 times he said, oh, I could end the war within 24 hours, or I could end the war before I even take office. Well, it turns out it didn't happen in under 24 hours. We're now over 8,000 hours into the Trump presidency, and the war has not finished, and Americans are taking their frustrations out on the President of the United States. It turns out it's far easier to yell from the bleachers than actually be the guy in charge. Because take a look here. Voters in Trump and the Russia-Ukraine war. You go back to 2024. Look, Trump was favored on this issue over Kamala Harris by 2 points. Look at where we are now. His net approval rating down.
I remember the one reason why he gained more approval over that topic is because, well, Kamala Harris kind of admitted that she never talked to Putin. Really, the Biden administration didn't talk to Putin. So how can we trust you to solve this war since you had no communication with the other side?
The conversation wouldn't even be happening. It would be like, how much more fucking weapons are we going to give to Ukraine? Like, I understand fucking what Trump said. It was absolutely fucking screaming from the bleachers and armchair quarterbacking. But at least he's fucking doing something other than, nope, Russia, we're just going to keep giving Ukraine weapons as Ukraine's getting the fucking shit knocked out of them.
Down, minus 20 points among independents. He is 29 points underwater. Americans trusted Donald Trump to do something much more so, or at least a little bit more so, than Kamala Harris coming into office. That is ending this war. He has not done so. He's had more time than he said he needed to end it, and therefore they're taking their frustrations out on him. He's 20 points underwater. His net approval on the Russia-Ukraine war.
Why is Trump so disliked on the Russia-Ukraine issue? Is it just about him not sticking to the timeline and saying, oh, I'll get this done quickly?
Yeah, it's also about who he's favoring, or at least who Americans perceive that he's favoring in terms.
I'm gonna be real with you. That day one statement is probably the worst thing that man done said. They is not letting that go. Day one, remember? I was like, oh, come on.
They love that. They love to harp on anything they can.
But day one.
What was your? How long did Biden have to end the war? If it was so favorable for Biden to do it,
I mean, sure, yeah, good little 2 years.
I'll wait. No, it was 2022 when he February of 2022, February.
Yeah, he had a nice little
something like that.
Yeah, good. He had a good 2 years to get it done.
Almost 3 years, but yeah.
Yeah, but hey, he wasn't trying to talk to Putin. Remember, Putin was the end. Putin, well, he is the enemy, but let's be real. Now we're trying to see Putin as an ally instead of an enemy, because the Biden administration seen him as an enemy, and Trump sees him as a potential ally.
There's no way he can ever be an ally.
Why would he be? Well, because we can do trade with them, and it'd be a lot better for us than just going to war with them. I mean, trillions of dollars in resources, gas.
No, there's no need to.
So
what have they got? What have they got that we don't already have?
So
minerals and resources, and trillions of dollars of resources.
By that logic, Germany shouldn't be our ally either. Neither should Japan.
Well, I mean, the U.S., France, they divided Germany up for a few years after the war, and Germany became an ally, and
look how well that went. We started a Cold War with
80 years of stability in Western Europe. Pretty good.
Okay. There's so much stability, right?
Western Europe for sure, yeah.
Oh, Western Europe, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, with our money and our fucking resources, sure, yeah.
But all right,
Europe built their own economy, so
under the protection of who?
The protection? Yeah, like there was NATO.
And who's the biggest by far funder of NATO?
Yeah, the US.
Okay, thank you. That's all I said. Continue.
Yeah, but you do realize that it benefits you too.
Oh, really? What benefits exactly do we get out of it? Because you use defense from us to get healthcare in all of Eastern Europe. We don't have affordable healthcare because, I mean, that's another issue to talk about.
You can't go there. That's just due to your political incompetence and
my political incompetence. So if you were actually
the US is
their political incompetence.
The US system as a whole. Yeah.
Oh, so that incompetence is funding fucking all of Western Europe to have fucking peace and security.
Your
I
healthcare
said
does
it.
not cost that much at all. It really
Oh, it
doesn't
doesn't?
cost that much.
No.
No. No.
Maybe you're conflating it with the fact that you guys don't pay that much for healthcare. But yeah, ours
I
does.
mean, come on, give us a break, Galactic. You got a smaller population and less fat people. Like,
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying you're the only. He brought it up, but you guys are the only country that can't offer healthcare.
And we're the only country that pays for the next 30 countries' fucking defense and infrastructure combined.
And pharmaceuticals.
Well,
Meanwhile, you tariff the fuck out of us, and we can't sell our products in your countries, but you want to import your things and argue about free trade.
Tariffs
on the same.
Tariffs were generally very low across the board before
But they
Trump
were still
implemented tariffs.
there, and there was an inverse and a negative deflation of our economy, so that your economy could be built up. So Western Europe, sorry, you're in Australia, you're not fucking Western Europe.
Yeah, but we can still talk about Europe.
You're defending them, so you're taking Team Western Europe, and I get it. I don't have a problem with it, but fucking maybe don't act like it's all through your own fucking grit and glory that you did it.
Nobody said that. Like, America decided to become the leader of the free world, and they did it very, very well. And that's my point about Russia as well, be invading another country. And
what? Tell me, Galactic. Why did?
All right, hold on. Before we get into that, guys. First off, Link.
Yeah,
I meant Trump. Oh, you're good. I meant Trump escalated our involvement in the war. That was I know that was Link sent a minute ago. Sorry about that. And Tove, good morning, said. Hey, good morning, Tove. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get right back into the video. We got a little bit more to get through.
Let's look at this. In
we
Russia,
doing
Ukraine war,
conspiracy
Trump favors Russia too much. That's the winner.
True. Conspiracy. I can see if I can grab something for that. I mainly got a decent amount of geopolitical stuff I was about to get into, but
I know it's good.
We'll see.
Right here, 48%. Strikes the right balance, 36%. Favors Ukraine too much. Very few people believe that. 3%. You add together 3% and 36%. That gets you to 39%. That is well less than the 48% who say that Trump favors Russia too much. So at this point, the American people say it's not just that the war has ended. They are disagreeing with Trump's tactics in this, saying that he is favoring Russia too much, which I think a lot of experts would agree with.
So suffice it to say,
let me ask, because I'm assuming Galactic falls into this category of people that think he favors Russia. What exactly should we do? Tell me. You're president for 5 minutes. What should we do to Russia that won't drag us into World War III, and will give Ukraine, sunshine and rainbows? I want to know, because you're shitting on my perspective, and you're shitting on the president's perspective, and you're shitting on S.E.T's perspective. So what should we do?
Continue a conventional war and put pressure, deplete resources, deplete soldiers, and hope that there's a social uprising.
Yeah. So when Ukraine runs out of people, what should we do then? Because that's how it's going.
What are their troop numbers at the moment? I don't know.
I know what the KD is.
Those reliable numbers?
Absolutely, they're reliable numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you've interrupted the video again. We should keep watching the video.
Answer the question. So when you're given,
I've answered the question.
So just keep sending Ukrainians to die.
Yep, he said the Iran strategy. Like, we pretty much just try to put the strangle on them until we put an economic strangle on them and try to get their people to revolt against them by creating a hard time in Russia. So therefore, we don't beat them militarily; we beat them down economically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same things. Yeah.
And when
maybe
Russia
get China and India on board as well. Get China and India on board.
Russia's allies.
Stop buying their oil. Yeah.
Well, we got India to do it, but China not so much.
I mean, offer China Taiwan. Boom.
What? Damn. Hey,
yeah, so
they really want to get it done.
He has no real options. He's just very good at throwing pie from the back seat.
Honestly, no, I think he's serious. I think this is his actual plan because he actually wants to get it done. He's like, bro, if it's about getting Russia to concede,
So fuck the Taiwanese
he's willing to give up
people.
Taiwan. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
Taiwanese.
gotta respect
we
it.
gave him Hong Kong. We gave Hong Kong back to them. Taiwan, China technically think that Taiwan is still part of China. You know, and then by then you can lower tensions with China.
Monty,
God.
India.
That's not even a genuine fucking option. Like that is
Why?
crazy talk.
Why?
So
And then there's no need to go to war with China either.
You said if he was president.
So in the first 5 minutes, he has just started World War III. Congratulations.
How? No, I haven't.
I mean,
so the Taiwanese people
I've allied myself with China.
No, you haven't. You've capitulated to China. You literally
Not at
said,
all.
don't let Russia take Ukraine. Just let China take Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, if it means they don't take it, if it means
that means they cut off
militarily.
If that means they cut off Russia militarily and economic wise, I mean,
so
I guess
so let's try to band together with the people that are literally building their army up to kill us and say,
Well, they
you know
wouldn't
what,
be
fuck,
anymore.
They absolutely okay, right? Because it's not like they're biting for fucking supremacy over the world at all.
No, that's why align with them.
Align. Okay, yeah.
I mean,
congratulations. You have
the US is
won the
responsible
game.
for China's
Everybody is
rise.
dead now.
Yeah, Risk, a galactic winner. Woo!
You have won the game, and everybody is dead now.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, like if you were to put in place,
Are you AI?
Taiwan? Yes. If you were to put in place like an agreement whereby China ruled Taiwan and Taiwan had maybe a stronger democracy than what Hong Kong has now, and you've still got access to all the semiconductors.
Think Hong Kong has a stronger democracy than Taiwan?
No, I said if Taiwan was able to keep a stronger democracy than what Hong Kong has now.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I thought you were comparing the two. I was like, what?
No, like, yeah.
Well, speaking of Taiwan,
but yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I mean, everybody is gearing up for war because like resources are depleting. We're going to run out of fresh water soon, like in the next 100, 200 years, like the Himalayas will all melt. There'll be like mass migration. Did you know, I read a report as well this week that there are more man-made substances than what there is biomass, like by weight on the earth now.
Yeah, I could see it
So
through forever chemicals and all that good stuff.
Yeah, like just plastics, concrete. There's more mass on the earth now than what there is trees and biomass and animals. It's crazy. Yeah.
But
So
all right,
your
guys.
solution
you want to
fix that
avoid
is
you want to
enslave all
avoid
of
World War
Taiwan.
III.
Enslave all of Taiwan just to fight off Russia, and then Russia just says, "Oh, you know what? I've lost. I'm sorry."
Well, I mean, you're talking about avoiding World War III. I would still continue I mean, World War III, I don't think if you know anything about nuclear war, nobody's got the guts to push the button because it means everybody pushes the button. And
that's very altruistic.
I mean, damn, you forgot a major thing.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Do we really want to find out?
Powers, they could do that. But in the meantime, let's keep putting their soldiers through the meat grinder, man. And yeah, hopefully,
we're not putting
years,
their
Russia
soldiers
will
through
be
the
dead.
meat grinder. We're putting allied forces through the meat grinder.
Yeah, they're both going through the meat grinder. Yeah,
no, they're
that's what
not.
happens.
They're winning 2-1 and gaining land.
Yeah, but I don't know about that.
If we just try communism harder, is that your solution?
Nah.
It's not communism. How's it communism?
I'm comparing it to the argument that a lot of liberals make. It hasn't been tried hard enough.
All right, guys. All right, but
we just try harder.
We're kind of going off topic here with the whole communist. So let's go back and let's get into a little bit of geopolitical stuff. Because speaking of Taiwan, Yeah, Taiwan scrambling their jets as China tests missiles on the second day of military drill. Let's see how that's going.
Well, China is holding a second day of military drills around Taiwan as tensions between Taipei and Beijing escalate. China launched missiles into the Taiwan Strait near Pingtan Island, the closest Chinese island to Taiwan. That comes alongside Chinese naval drills at sea in areas surrounding Taiwan, demonstrating their ability to blockade the island. Meanwhile, Taiwan has responded by scrambling fighter jets from a base at Hsinchu on the western coast. The roots of this standoff trace back to the Chinese Civil War in 1949, when the defeated nationalist government fled to Taiwan and the People's Republic of China was formed on the mainland. Now, this dispute gained global weight in 1971 when the UN recognized Beijing as China's representative. Taiwan is not a member state. The island of Taiwan has governed itself for decades, but Beijing views it as a part of China and insists that reunification is inevitable.
Wow.
Tension over Taiwan has escalated since Chinese President Xi Jinping took office, with Beijing holding 6 major drills since 2022. Well, Zain Besravi is standing by at an airbase in Taiwan. But first, let's go over to Katrina Yu, who's monitoring the situation from Beijing. And so, Katrina, look, we are now into day 2 of these drills, and China seems to be telegraphing in some ways how it would take back Taiwan by force. So what are we learning about their tactics?
That's right. Well, China has dispatched its army, its navy, its air force, and its rocket force, and it sent them essentially to encircle Taiwan. We know from a map released by the People's Liberation Army that they are approaching the island from 5 different directions. These blocks, the area of which this drill is covering, it seems to be larger than ever before, and the focus seems to be blocking major ports in Taiwan and isolating the island. So practicing cutting off Taiwan potentially from the rest of the world.
Well, I mean, when they say inevitable, I guess they put an action to words. Because whoa, all 5 sides, the second day of military, so-called military training, but let's be real. It sounds like they're about to move in any day now. And what was it? I think it was Japan that was the one that was threatening them too, saying that if you take Taiwan, we'll step in. So this might be a war between Taiwan, Japan versus China. I mean, let's see how that goes. Because, I mean, let's be real. I could see us proxying that as well, trying to get Japan into a dub. And we're in the same problem of, well, we're going to be reporting to the world that Japan and Taiwan is winning, but they might actually be losing.
Not if I was president, Sam.
No, okay, well. Not if my man Galactic.
He would just wave the white flag for the first time in American history.
I'm done. Nah, according to him, he's saying, no, the only person good waving the white flag is Taiwan.
Well, no, we've got Vietnam, you've got Afghanistan, and maybe next Russia, Ukraine.
I mean, hey, true. He's like, hey, you might as well keep the pattern of regime change since we got the ball rolling now. I disagree.
I meant waving the white flag.
Oh, okay. My bad. But yeah, it does seem things do seem to be pretty bleak for Taiwan. And let's be real, China's had its eye on Taiwan forever at this point. So it does suck that now they're doing something about it, because let's be real, it's going to be kind of hard for President Trump to keep his no new war promises when China, I mean, they don't care about that promise. And, you know, is the American people going to want to go into war for Taiwan, or are we going to want a proxy war or send money out to Taiwan to stop China? Is that what we're heading towards? Because it's looking like it. And do we want to do it? Because I don't personally.
We also know.
Oh, well, wait, what you about to say?
Saying it's an unwinnable war. That one.
Agreed. Somewhat agree. I somewhat agree with you on that.
It's an unwinnable war, but the one in Ukraine is. I don't get it. I don't understand your logic.
Well, one's being fought on land. Yeah, one's not. China's military is a lot stronger than Russia's.
China's military is bullshit, but okay.
Man, shoot, I don't know if this war pops off. We about to F around and find out.
They've got the biggest navy now, Monty.
Actually, you know what? this may sound effed up, but if I was America, I'd probably let it happen. I kind of want to see what China's
They
military
have the
can do.
biggest navy. That is fucking hilarious. Have you never been aboard a U.S. aircraft carrier?
No, they have.
Have you ever seen a United States nuclear submarine, or the what is it 80 that we have?
No, I will admit though they have the biggest fleet in the world, but I don't think they could beat our Navy because of our nuclear
Yeah,
submarines.
their fleet is a bunch of fucking pontoon boats that is designed to look like it's fucking something. They have landing craft specifically designed to invade Taiwan. So no, they don't have a navy. They don't have the biggest navy in the world. We have, first of all, naval warfare. It's not fucking battleship anymore. We're talking about an air aspect of naval warfare, because that's what naval warfare has turned into, is just how many fucking aircraft carriers can you put in an area. That's why every time a conflict breaks out, we send an aircraft carrier somewhere. There is evidence that they're trying to build things that can defeat aircraft carriers, like big giant train tracks that'll move an aircraft carrier like thing through their desert. They can't even fucking hit it.
They've got hypersonic missiles now that can take out an aircraft
Yeah, and they
carrier,
have
but-
18th gen fighters too. I bet you.
But here's the thing, though. This is the thing about China, though.
No,
We've
I'm
never
just
seen
being
them in war, to be quite honest with you. Like not in recent years. So honestly, and like I said, it may sound effed up,
What does that mean, Set? What does that mean, Set? That they have no training in war.
which is true. But things we never see them in action. So they may not have any training, but we still don't know how they would respond to an actual battle. We don't know if it would be because bad or good. We don't know. Like, let's just be honest.
You know how we beat China? We just dropped bread on them.
I'm crying.
Bread with
Drop
messages.
bread in the village areas.
Yeah.
Let
That's
their
how you
people
beat
eat
China.
rice. I think you've been better off dropping
Drop.
rice.
I mean, rice would be a little bit harder to contain. It would just kind of explode everywhere. But I mean,
yeah.
Hey, they'd appreciate it.
just gotta feed their people.
I think they're doing okay now.
Oh yeah.
They're doing okay. Yeah.
Well, the 100 million people that China cares about is doing okay.
Exactly. The other fucking half the fucking continent. No, they're a little hungry. If you didn't
Hang
know.
on. So what? You think there's a famine in China?
Oh no, not a famine. Because most of their half of their country are Moors in poverty. Like they can't afford to eat.
They're if you go ahead and
You ever
buy-
heard about how they live outside of the main cities? They live terribly outside of the main cities. These guys are eating grass and water.
No. If you follow his logic, socialism and communism is really good for the world. So he thinks they're doing really well because
I've never said that.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, dog. I think it's about 900 million people in China has never flown on a plane. Or was it 500 million can't afford a cup of coffee?
They're painting rocks green to try to convince the rest of the world that they have fucking greenery. They're not doing too hot.
That was for the Olympics, man.
No, that was for why if they're so lush and not barren and fucking starving, why would they need to do that? Why don't you just put sod out like we do?
I'm sorry. Somebody said it's like, so what's wrong with grass? I'm just like, okay. I mean,
They can't because they don't have it. They don't even have grass. At least North Korea has grass to go pick.
But hey, man, it is what it is.
Thinks of this.
But all right, though, let's hear this lady out.
That the PLA says today that they will be testing long-range missiles. So certainly this drill involves practicing both defensive and offensive capacities of the People's Liberation Army and targeting not only troops coming from Taiwan, but potentially troops coming from other directions, troops being sent from foreign forces. And certainly for the first time in history, Beijing has admitted that these drills are also directed towards any country that may be considering stopping Beijing from taking back control of Taiwan.
Wow. So, Katrina, look, the Taiwanese military says that 90 out of 130 military planes that are taking part in these drills crossed the median line between China and Taiwan. What is Beijing saying about that?
It certainly seems that Beijing is emboldened more than ever before this time round. It hasn't commented about this particular drill and those planes, as you mentioned, crossing the median line. But in the past, China's response has been very simple. They don't believe a median line between Taiwan and China exists. And that is the very point. China believes that Taiwan is simply another Chinese province, rogue sovereign territory that will be taken back if necessary by force. And really the whole point of these drills is to send a very clear message to the government of Lai Ching-te, the democratically elected president in Taiwan, that pushing for independence or even declaring independence is crossing a red line, and that red line for Beijing is the belief that there is only one China.
All right, so that is the view from Beijing.
Wow.
Zain Basravi.
And that's the guy. That's the dictator that you want to capitulate to.
There's only one China.
Oh my God! Like
Well.
I understand that you were making a joke, but what the fuck?
It was a joke, man.
I mean, hey, hold on now. We don't know if they're gonna be treated badly or not. He might be a nice. Okay, I'm just playing. I won't
It's
even
a
take.
rogue. They see it as a rogue nation stolen by rebels.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
How do you treat traitors? You
That's some
you
good
don't take
rhetoric.
them out to a steak dinner.
Shoot. Hey man, they might be trying to try something different, Monty. Who's to say they're just gonna start doing public executions as soon as they step in there? Like, come on. Where are we?
I
Iraq?
guess you.
Like,
I
come
guess
on.
you. I
No,
guess
there
you're
are no,
right.
there are no public executions in China. People just disappear.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
They
That's
don't-
true. You're right. You're right.
They don't want to spill the blood on the streets that they make people clean.
Yeah, I mean they did enough spilling of blood on the streets with Tiananmen Square, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's all just like
But those
doo-doo-doo. You know that dude with the cane that just like pulls somebody off the stage, like
the long cylindrical cane and just yanks them
yeah,
back.
yeah.
But all right, guys, we're
Uh,
gonna go
Shepherd
ahead and
Shepherd
dig
King.
in. We're gonna go ahead and dig into the Russian side of the story, and what the Russians got to say about this whole strike on Putin's house.
Russia has accused Ukraine of launching an
Not
attack
my
on one of
house.
President
All the
Vladimir
things they
Putin's
could have hit my
residences, a
house.
day after Donald Trump held talks with Ukraine's president and a separate call with Putin. Russian officials say drones targeted a residence in the Novgorod region, but were destroyed by air defenses. The Kremlin says it will now review its position in peace negotiations. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky denies Putin's residence was targeted, saying it is a fabrication intended to undermine peace talks.
You know
Andrei
what?
Kortunov is the former Director General of the Russian International Affairs Council. Andrei, you're joining us from Moscow. It's good to have you on the program. So
Maybe he
Russia
just
says
wants to
Ukraine
build a
launched an
ballroom.
attack against Vladimir Putin's residence, as we
Seth.
just...
Yo,
I have figured it out. I'm gonna in fantasy land. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna increase our production of B-2 bombers or B-2 Spirits. Get a whole bunch of F-22s, and then when we can simultaneously conduct strikes on Moscow and Beijing, we'll just go take them both out, and then boom, everybody's happy.
dead hand switch. Well, let's hope that dead hand
Nope,
switch
nope,
isn't
nope.
real.
Hope it's not. That is Russian propaganda.
Maybe
That's
Putin
good.
just
We
wants
want
to
to F
build a
around and find
ballroom.
out. All right,
Maybe
Monty.
Putin just wants to build a ballroom next to his house, and you know this is a false flag to, get the ballroom built.
Or he needs to build a new window to throw one of his oligarchies out of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey man, never trust Putin near a window. What can I say? But all right, now,
What's wrong with presidents building ballrooms, Galactic?
Oh, nothing at all.
yeah, I
No,
like
nothing.
ballrooms. Yeah,
What's he
come
need
on
a
now.
big ballroom
And it looks
It's-
nice. It has marble floors.
It's such a big waste of money, right?
But but it's not being paid for by the taxpayer. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, but
so
maybe
can't be mad
maybe
at that.
maybe they're just mad that he didn't spend the $300 million for the
I mean-
$4 billion project to redo the Fed.
The Hilton's down the road, just go to the Hilton, have a bloody soiree.
Yeah,
down
the
there.
greatest country in the world,
I'm
the world
weak.
superpower. Your options are stand in the grass or go down to the Hilton. Got
Wait,
it?
Australia. Wait, hold on. Galactic. Do you guys got a ball? I mean, or ballroom?
Hey?
Yeah. Do you guys
Yeah,
got
we
a ballroom?
we got a ballroom. Yeah,
Why
built
can't we
like a-
have one?
Why can't we have one then, motherfucker?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? You had
Greedy
the East
motherfucker.
Wing.
That's not good
East
enough.
Wing.
That's not a ballroom.
Sometimes you just need to live within your means, you know.
So he said we should have stayed in the tent. Just
This is Trump's money.
Book the Hyatt for a night. It's not Trump's money. It's bloody, who knows where that money's coming from.
Trump.
Qatar. Yeah, we don't know where it's coming from.
Oh yeah, but why has Qatar suddenly become Qatar and not or sorry, you said it right. Everybody's been calling it Qatar over the past fucking couple of months.
Yeah, I don't know why. But all right, now
Good
let's hear
airport,
from
really good airport.
All right, guys, but let's get our healthy dose of Russian propaganda. All right, guys, from this Russian spokesman.
On the program. So Russia says Ukraine launched an attack against Vladimir Putin's residence, as we just said, in Novgorod, and that Russia will review its negotiating position. Kyiv says the whole thing's a fabrication, and so far there hasn't been evidence of this attack. Your thoughts on this whole episode?
Well, first of all, it's very clear that we should regard the Russian statement as a signal primarily to the United States that Washington should not expect any softening of the Russian position in terms of the future peace agreement. Of course, the United States should use its own intelligence means, maybe space stations, satellites to verify the strike. But it's clear that
this man Putin live out there in the woods. Literally.
Bro, he likes horses. Didn't you know that?
I get
It's a
it.
really
I
nice
get
spot, that one.
It looks really see what $400 billion or an entire country's wealth can do for you guys. Man,
So
you should aspire to be a dictator.
So you want to tell me that he has
pays well.
that one giant target that he could hit and he misses, but suddenly he's gonna win the war?
No, literally though. It's like you had one shot, man. Just one shot.
Now, like, they've done some I will give it to the Ukrainians. They have done some creative fucking shit. Some good fucking
no, the
tactics.
Trojan horses that they snuck into the trucks. That was cold. I was like, all right, I'm impressed.
If they're that good, why can't they just fucking win?
I mean, they took out a naval destroyer as well. Yeah, they sunk a ship. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they took a trip out there with a couple of drones, but they don't got enough. And Russia just got too much like manpower, and they got quite the arsenal.
Yeah,
like, I'm rooting for Ukraine here, but I don't. The numbers don't line up on paper with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, if Russia weren't able to ship oil, I think they'd run out of money pretty quick.
Yeah, that's true. But then Europe still buys oil from Russia. I mean, China still buys oil from Russia. Iran.
No, but they can't ship it. They can't ship it. That's what he's saying. I agree with that. If
they are shipping it. Yeah, they are shipping it.
They're shipping
but
it.
if you cut off their means to do so,
okay,
that would be good for Ukraine.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's something they should go after instead of
Yeah.
missing
That's
Vladimir Putin.
That's why you got to get China on board to stop buying their oil.
No, here's the thing though. We've been doing that. We've been trying to crush these guys economically. It's just I mean, real with you, no matter how much pressure we put on them, they just keep gaining on the battlefield. We're just going like, all right, at this point, look, we'll just stop. Like that's the thing. We're kind of giving up because when they say put sanctions, we're just like we already got sanctions on them. Like they already moved around our sanction. They're barely using the American dollar. Like, so what else could we possibly do?
BRICS economy.
Maybe Putin will have to do like episodes of Cribs to like make some extra cash.
I'm done. He's like,
the
well,
inside of that place,
No, and here's the thing: they already got a bounce back plan for after the war, working with us.
Yeah, only if
Russia
you let
does?
them.
Yeah, they're going to be working with us. That's part of the peace plan. For us to let them back into the G8, establish trade again, take off the sanctions off them, unfreeze their money.
They'll sell all those rare earths back to us.
Yeah, not to, and they'll sell some rare earth to us or back. Yeah, well, to us.
Yeah.
So, it could work out. It could work out. We could be business partners.
Come on now.
Or we keep
Come on, guys.
or you keep the meat
what-
grinder going and you get those rare earth metals for yourself.
But guys, we've already seen this plan enacted already. This sounds like the Iranian peace deal.
Yeah, true. Sound like we try to get off and around.
And that was such a great idea, wasn't it?
That deal was working until Trump tore it up.
Oh, Trump tore it up. It's not like, Hamas has been bombarding Israel for the past 20 years.
I thought you talking, I think you're talking about was it JOC? Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay,
so
yeah.
if that idea was such a great idea, why wouldn't this idea be a great idea? Just, let them back in. It'll work, right?
I would. I'll be real with you. I'd go with Obama's plan on this one, Monty. I'd literally go with Obama's plan because they really wasn't doing anything. They were still abiding by it. So that was one thing I did disagree with Trump on, is ripping up that deal. I'm just like, all right, well, now they're not under a deal. Now we're creating all types of excuses to get involved with them.
I say we just go and blow up the whole fucking world. Fuck it.
God damn it, not bomb Iran. Bomb.
No, it's bomb. It's level Russia.
Oh man,
No.
not bomb Russia. Nah, that's gonna be World War III.
That's all we're good at. That's according to Galactic. We just need to shut up, give them missiles, and let them win the war.
Let them fight it out. Let them just dug it out. Yeah.
We could just like have a boxing match between Zelensky and Putin, and the winner just takes the other.
That'd be
the winner,
great.
The winner just takes the other country. I don't put my money on Putin. I can't.
Bro, the man's ex-KGB. Even if I don't like the man, he's gonna whoop that boy's ass.
I reckon Putin would have a pretty good jaw. I reckon he could take.
But he's old. Zelensky's a young guy. He's in his prime. Think about the stats.
Yeah.
But Zelensky is like 5'6", scrawny looking. Don't look like he has no muscles.
He's real.
He's
good
got
at
no
getting into the
reach.
pocket. He can get into the pocket, get the uppercuts on the soft chin of Russia.
Putin's got a syringe like hidden in his shorts and just like boom, injects it.
It's gonna be like a WWE fight. They're gonna have razor blades between their hands.
He comes in like with one of those umbrellas that's got like the little pellet that like shoots
pellet
the
gun in the middle. Of ricin.
Yeah, shoots the ricin pellet.
You just have a straight, 14-ounce or 16-ounce glove boxing match.
Somebody said here that Zelensky won on Dancing with the Stars.
Zelensky was a comedian or an actor.
An actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Trump was a reality TV star. Yeah.
He was also a businessman. He was a reality TV star because he was a businessman. Zelensky's a president because he was an actor.
He was a reality TV star because he was a broke businessman.
How many buildings do you own?
Doesn't matter, man. Trump, I think, only owns about 2. One of them's mortgaged.
He has 5 different buildings in 3 continents. What are you talking about?
Oh, 5 and 3 continents.
All right. Let's not talk about Trump finances.
Sorry, Seth. Yeah,
Ukraine might have been engaged in something like that because over the last couple of months we witnessed an increase of Ukrainian attacks against various objects in the Russian Federation, deep in the Russian territory. So probably, indeed, that was another escalation step by Kyiv.
You could also make the argument, which is Ukraine's argument, that this accusation is convenient for Russia one day after Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump had a fairly productive meeting at the White House.
Well, exactly. That's why I think that it's important for the United States to verify if it is possible to verify this attack, and maybe they can use their national intelligence means to do that. But it's clear that we right now, under the circumstances, cannot expect any additional concessions from the Russian side.
That was going to be my question. So you see no sign that Russia is willing to compromise. And if the Kremlin's position is still that they want all of Ukraine's Donbass region with minimal security guarantees provided by Western countries, the US and Europe, I mean, isn't that capitulation by another name?
Well, I think that on Donbass, it's pretty clear that the Kremlin wants all this territory to be controlled by Russia. They might still consider minor adjustments. For instance, there were statements.
And shout out to first off, let me get your first one. She says, China has execution vans in real life. I think she means. And shout out to Tove coming in again. Say, can you pull up the list of White House ballroom donors? Some people need a refresher. I got you. I'm getting it right now.
The Kremlin that probably Russia will deploy its heavy
rolled the hell out
weapons
of that R.
in these new territories of Donbass, but Russia might limit itself to some units of police force and the National Guard to keep order there. But definitely, in terms of sovereignty, they want to get all of Donbass. In terms of the security guarantees, it's less clear. The issue is technical. I think that they accept the idea that Ukraine should have its security guarantee.
But yeah, this is actually public information, which is hilarious. Let me see here. I know I just had it up. Huh.
These Uncrustables are delicious.
Here it is. There it is. All right, man. Shout out to kcrg.com. So, White House reveals donor list for Trump's 300 million ballroom. I mean, of course, this is hit right here. All the guys who gave monies to Trump, well, who gave millions of dollars to Trump's ballroom. You know, a lot of guys like Coinbase, Coinbase, he's doing things for the crypto company. Amazon loves them. Apple loves them. Well, beholden to them so they can accept the tariffs. Big names like Google, HP, of course, Lockheed Martin. The weapons company gonna love Trump this time around. Meta platforms, Trump let them get off with their little breakup. They were supposed to be broke up, and they should be broken up, but I'm not sure if Trump looked out or the Federal Trade Commission is just a bunch of dumbasses. Microsoft, Palantir, Palantir. Come on now. Well, what doesn't Palantir have their hand in?
Bro, Palantir designed the anti-aircraft guns on top of the White House.
Man. The Lucknick family, of course. So our Secretary of Commerce family stepped in, gave up some money. That's pretty much all the recognizable people. Of course, T-Mobile. If you got T-Mobile like myself, you can be disappointed if you're, a Trump hater at your own cell phone company. I
hate T-Mobile. I hate T-Mobile.
I hate the Indians that answer the phone at T-Mobile. I'm just gonna.
I just hate their service is just garbage.
Shoot,
I say that with T-Mobile.
The old outsourcing of call centers.
Yes, we are. Yes, they are. The
Happened
bastards.
everywhere. Yeah.
Man, look, bro, it's almost disrespectful that they think an Indian guy can explain the things better than an American. It's effed up. But I mean, you're right though. They do it for cost. It's all about the cost.
Maybe if there weren't so many regulations on being an employer in the United States, it'd be a little bit easier.
Good point.
What regulations?
But it's not clear what it exactly means because it has been against any foreign, especially Western troops on the territory of Ukraine. And I don't know whether, Article 5 type of security guarantees by the United States makes any sense if there are no foreign troops in Ukraine.
We don't know how this whole negotiation effort ends, but there is a scenario where Ukraine gets continued, maybe even increased military support from its Western allies, and Russia faces even stiffer economic sanctions. Does any of that deter Vladimir Putin?
I don't think. I think that the perception in Moscow is that Russia is making some progress on the ground, and that will continue in 2026. I think the perception is that there is a growing Ukraine fatigue in Europe, and it would be difficult for European nations to support Ukraine, especially if the United States is not ready to contribute substantially to this support. So I think that the current moods in the Russian leadership are quite upbeat. Of course, there are economic problems in Russia, and these problems will not fade away next year. However, the Russian economic system turned out to be quite adaptive and resilient. So I don't think that economic problems constitute immediate challenge to the Russian leadership.
Andrei.
Damn. I mean, and that's kind of what we were hoping for, that we put an economic squeeze on them and it threatens Russian leadership. But the way he's talking is like, look, he's over here in Moscow going like, look, man, that plan looked like it's not going to happen, guys. You can put his... We don't
need your McDonald's. We got McRussia.
Yep, apparently the economic squeeze isn't working out. And that was my worst fear, is that, all right, we could squeeze them, and if it works and we get them to concede, then that's great. But the way this man is talking is like, well, you guys can keep trying, but we're going to keep this going. And the only thing that's going to stop us is when we get our way.
You know what's funny to me?
Man, what's up?
What's absolutely funny to me? If Trump had decided that he was just going to go fucking flatten Russia, we would get the same kind of criticism. Oh, he's trying to start World War III. He's not, blah, 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 blah. Somehow he would still be colluding with Russia. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because you're always going to have political naysayers. Like,
now,
you know.
Now this one somewhat hurts my heart, but damn, bro, that Thailand and Cambodia ceasefire, yeah, holds after 72 hours. Observation period ends. So it looks like they're about to go right back at it, guys.
Thailand is where?
And Cambodia is one of the things that one of the conflicts that Trump liked to brag about that he ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're back at it.
Back at it.
An initial 72-hour observation period of a truce between Thailand and Cambodia has ended weeks after about 100 people were killed and hundreds of thousands displaced by fighting at the border. That was despite an earlier ceasefire brokered by the U.S. Under the current deal, the two countries agreed to hold fire, freeze troop movements, and allow civilians to return home. Thailand agreed to return captured Cambodian soldiers. Al Jazeera's S.E.T Beg is in Phoi Phet on the Cambodian side of the border. So, S.E.T, the initial 72 hours of the ceasefire were described by both sides when they agreed to this as something of an observation period. Now that it's over, what happens?
Well, it's difficult to say. We understand that the talks are ongoing. It essentially buys Cambodia time to discuss these technical talks. Now, what Cambodia has done is accepted the ceasefire without legitimizing any military gains that Thailand has made. So the truce of the ceasefire is still holding. We haven't heard any news of strikes or firing taking place. But there was an allegation by the Thai military saying that Cambodia had flown 250 drones, something that Cambodia has denied. But the situation remains fragile. You understand Thailand is supposed to release 18 Cambodian soldiers. We're still waiting on news for that. But essentially what Cambodia is saying, they accept the ceasefire, the troops stay where they are. But as we have seen on the ground, the troops of Thailand still control parts of Cambodian territory. Now, we don't know what's going to happen there. Cambodia is saying that they want to discuss the border, and the border still is subject to existing treaties and international law.
I said you are at a camp for displaced people, Cambodians who fled the fighting that was taking place at the border. What happens to them now?
Damn, it sounds, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of sounds like Thailand whooping their ass. But let's hear them out.
Well, again, it's a mixed reaction. Some people have returned to their villages or cities, those that can. Other people are saying they're not ready to go back yet. And some are saying, actually, their villages are now controlled by the Thai military, the areas around them. Now, what you're seeing now is an aid distribution, and these have been going on all day. Hundreds of people lining up, collecting rice, oil, soy sauce, mosquito nets, plastic rugs for their tents. So there's still hundreds of thousands of people displaced. Some have gone home. But as I've been speaking to people here, one lady showed me a video on her phone that she alleges was Thai troops destroying her home, saying, I have nowhere to go back to. And that's the reality on the ground that the Cambodian government faces, is yes, this ceasefire is holding, but they still have people that there's a great deal of mistrust that don't want to return home, that want to stay here, or sometimes they can't return back to their villages. So while this is holding, nobody is saying that this is stable or permanent yet.
All right, S.E.T Beg reporting from this camp for displaced people, and a reminder that almost 1 million people on both sides of the Thai-Cambodian border have been displaced during 2 weeks of fighting. They're now wondering whether it's safe to go back home. S.E.T Beg's reporting there on the ground. Thank you very much.
Don't miss out. Get the full.
And all right, well, that's what's going on there. Hopefully that situation gets better, and hopefully that could stay together. Because Lord knows, hey man, the Dems are gonna love picking at that. They're gonna love picking at that. It's like they'd be assholes for doing so, but I mean, come on now, they don't waste the opportunity to poke at Trump. Don't waste.
Oh yeah,
not one
never fail to execute on a tragedy. Every tragedy is an opportunity for political gain, in their opinion.
Facts. But all right, though, let's get over to the last video here of the geopolitical hour. And let's get over to Yemen's Saudi-backed presidential council says UAE forces must leave within 24 hours. So it's going off in all parts of the Middle East.
The head of Yemen's presidential council, supported by Saudi Arabia, says Emirati-backed forces in the country should leave within 24 hours. That follows a Saudi airstrike on the port of Mukalla in Yemen, carried out after 2 ships arrived carrying weapons destined for southern separatist forces. Mukalla is in Yemen's Hadramaut province. It was recently seized by the separatist Southern Transitional Council. Saudi state media say the ships came from the port of Fujairah in the UAE. Saudi officials say that they arrived late last week without official permits and that they had disabled, the ships that is, had disabled their tracking systems. The airstrike did not hit either ship, and there were no reports of injuries. Khaled Batarfi is a political analyst. He joins us live from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Khaled, thank you for being on the News Hour on Al Jazeera. This is a marked escalation between Saudi Arabia and the UAE. How do you read this?
Well, I read it as I read it when the Houthis went against the will of their government and the will of the world in 2014. Now again, the same thing is happening. This time it is al-intiqali, and whether it is supported by Gulf states or by other, we have to deal with al-intiqali. And al-intiqali has an agenda, has orders, and has to comply with these orders and this agenda. Otherwise, he will have to pay for them. And we hope it doesn't come to that, and that they will come to their senses and they will leave the areas that they occupied and obeyed the orders they were given by the coalition.
Yeah, about that. So the order given by Yemen's presidential council was for those forces to leave within 24 hours, those Emirati-backed forces. If they don't, and 24 hours is a very short window for any kind of significant movement on the ground. If they don't, what do you foresee happening?
Well, that's the orders from the Yemenis. And we have the Saudis and the coalition is supporting that. And I don't know if this 24 hours time is enough, at least to show some willingness to move or to act on that. But if this 24 hours passed without any movement, I can't foresee any peaceful solution to this. And I would expect the coalition to support the presidential council on this. And I don't know how, but it has to be within the next few days.
You know, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are aligned on many issues.
Saudi Arabia, UAE is aligned on many issues, but guess who they're also aligned with? Israel. And who hates Yemen? And nobody hates Yemen more than Israel, and nobody hates Israel more than Yemen, I'll admit. I mean, trust me, Yemen just shoots like missiles in Israel directions just for the hell of it. Like, they know it won't hit, but they just want to do it. So trust me, that's like the epitome of hatred right there, when you just shooting at a person for the hell of it, knowing damn well it won't hit. So trust me, all this does make sense, and it lines up if you kind of know geopolitics. But all right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and end it right here because the sun is up and I gotta head to bed. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out on this one with a couple of clips. Shout out to my man Monty, and shout out to my man Galactic. Appreciate you for coming up, and Link, if you're still in here, appreciate you for coming up as well. Shoot, no problem, guys. No problem. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end out on some
Oh, you're wrong for that.
I'm sorry, I'm done. All right, not like that. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end out on this clip, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, guys. It's Set with Set Media. Appreciate the support, guys. Peace.
So while we were all distracted with the Epstein files, the entire financial system just flipped. Like now. That's because the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, just made the biggest move of the 21st century.
At a pace to tokenize real-world assets. And if you think about assets as software, it's natural for the industry to begin to look at blockchain as the next generation of software to carry assets. And they could.
The president and CEO of the DTCC, Frank LaSala, has just announced the green light from the SEC to tokenize everything. And if you guys have no idea who the DTCC is, let me walk this down. So they are the back office for the stock exchange, and let me give you an idea of how major this is. So their settlement and transaction volumes is $3.7 quadrillion per year. And yes, that's 15 zeros. Now, what does this all mean for the future of finance? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? This means real-world assets like gold, silver, real estate, cars will all be represented on blockchain through tokenization. Now, what tokenization is fractionalized ownership and investments. So for example, say you wanted to sell 20% of your house instead of 100% of your house, you can do so through blockchain, purchasing it with crypto. Now here's another telltale sign that things are changing rapidly, because silver has just become the third largest asset on earth, coming in at over $4.4 trillion evaluation. Now silver has hit an all-time high over 5 times just this month alone, but that's not all. Gold, oil, copper, platinum, and palladium have all surged as well. Now, what was that little thing that where assets are represented on blockchain? Oh yeah, tokenization. And let's not forget, the US has just launched an airstrike on Nigeria and all these other countries, bringing us on the brink of war. And what's that little asset that they actually use during war? Silver. Silver is what they use for satellites and tanks, submarines, fighter jets, Tomahawk cruiser missiles, AI data centers, and wiring, you name it. Make sure you guys get into my Telegram where I have more information on tokenization. Also, hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach.
China is spending the final days of 2025 carrying out some of the largest military drills ever around Taiwan. These are some serious war games. They've been simulating strikes on land and sea targets. They've been simulating blocking Taiwan's main ports, deploying troops, warships, and fighter jets, and even firing live rounds. Imagine being an island with all of this happening around you. Now, China's aim is obviously to show Taiwan and the rest of the world their ability to circle the island and cut off Taipei from the west in the event of a full-scale invasion. And these drills